shot is going to be blocked away by Vasar. Arizona moving the other way. Caleb Love in the fast break. Crossover. Lands up and good from Caleb Love. Owaka with the offensive rebound, and he'll dunk it home for two. And Bradley steals it away. He'll lay it in for two. Back-to-back buckets for the Cats. Arizona can just run it out from here as Arizona gets the win over Davidson in Game 1 here in the Battle for Atlantis. Wildcats 104, Davidson 72.
And everybody gets to go on the water slide after you win a basketball game at the Atlantis Hotel and Casino down on Paradise Island. 104 for your Arizona Wildcats, 71 for the Davidson Wildcats on Wednesday night to open up things at the Bad Boy Mowers Battle for the Atlantis, the semifinal round today on the winner's side as well as on the losers bracket side. I'll use the term losers, even though a lot of people don't like that, but whatever. We're not on that side of the bracket, so it doesn't matter. And today the Wildcats will take on the Oklahoma Sooners from the Southeastern Conference, and it'll be a game that will kick off at 3 o'clock our time. So we've got you for the next 3 hours, 11:30 to 2:30, Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. And then Brody Dryden and Ryan Hansen will join us from the Paradise Allen Imperial Arena ahead of the game. They'll get you the last half hour up to tip off at 3. We hope, obviously, that it will tip off at 3, but there are other games happening ahead of this game today. This is, I believe, game number 3 on the docket today at the Battle for Atlantis. And as we saw yesterday, there are some times when you deal with these types of tournaments, you get an overtime game, and that throws everything into a little bit of delay. We'll already update you on the Goldberg and Osborne injury lawyers scoreboard of the game that is in progress right now. And this is the first game of the day. This is the other game on the winners bracket side. West Virginia having upset Gonzaga yesterday, or we'll hear Tommy Lloyd's reaction to whether or not those were actual upsets that happened yesterday. But West Virginia beat the number 3 Gonzaga Bulldogs yesterday, and Louisville knocked off the 14th ranked Indiana Hoosiers. So those two teams are playing in the other Bad Boy Mowers Battle for Atlantis semifinal today, and they are currently midway through the second half of that opener with the score 42-41 in favor of our new Big 12 foes from West Virginia. The Mountaineers enter that game at 4-1, and the Cardinals enter that game at 4-1. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. Let's talk about what's in store over the course of the next 3 hours.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Do things the right way.
We will review the 104-71 Arizona Wildcats win over the Davidson Wildcats. We'll get you set for what to expect with the Oklahoma Sooners, who had a close affair that got a little crazy at the end with an unusual technical foul on the bench for the Sooners. We'll dive into that and what the Sooners bring to the table. Your spotlight on a cap, Toby Owaka was back in the starting lineup, and he delivered yet another double-double for your Arizona Wildcats. We'll update you on everything happening around college basketball on this Thanksgiving Day. A lot of tournament action. The pest of the game, who'll be that Sooner that gets underneath the Wildcats' skin on this Thanksgiving. A view from courtside. We'll head back out to the Imperial Arena on Paradise Island and talk to Ryan Hansen, who will be on the broadcast today with Brody Dryden. Get Ryan's thoughts on the win over Davidson and what to expect today with the Oklahoma Sooners. Your best bets. What does this game look like on the big board at the Desert Diamond Casino? Right now, the line stands at Arizona -5.5. You're over under 155.5 today on the big board. Scouting report. We'll look deeper into the Sooners and their true freshman point guard, who Tommy Lloyd is pretty familiar with. Keys to the game, starting lineups, all of that straight ahead today as we get you set for Arizona and Oklahoma. Tommy Lloyd, after a win over Davidson, just grateful to get back in to the winning column after the first 2-game losing streak of his tenure here at Arizona.
It was great. It was good. We needed to get back out there. We needed to play. And, sometimes, and, you're a program that, is on the fortunate side of winning and losing. The losses are tough, and, having to kind of, grind through those feelings the last couple of weeks, it makes you appreciate how hard it is, and it makes you appreciate the moments when you are successful.
And, things did not get off to a very good start in yesterday's game. 5 turnovers for the Arizona Wildcats in the first 5 minutes. Tommy Lloyd had an interesting reason that might have taken place last night.
Yeah, I mean, just listen, a few of them are just, passing turnovers. And, I think sometimes in these tournaments you get out there, it's kind of your first time playing on a court, it's a brand new basketball. You just got to get a little bit of a feel for things. And our guys were, trying to be good teammates and pass the ball. I think, a couple of them, 3 of them were, I think 2 or 3 of them were interior passes. And then for the most part, we settled in. We know we're not going to be perfect. But I'm just proud of how the guys kind of hung with it and responded. And, us coaches are on them pretty hard and maybe got a little frustrated moments, here and there. And the players did a great job of kind of taking a breath and working themselves through it.
If you're going to turn the ball over, guys, best to do so trying to get it into your big man.
Yeah, because one, if trying to get it into your bigs, you have defensive balance. At least you have guys back where they can't get fast break, easy layups. So I guarantee you, if you look at the fast break, and I think we talked about it last night, they had 1 point in fast break. So your turnovers wasn't really live balls at the 3-point, what we basically call pick sixes, where you basically catch it on the wing and go full court for a dunk or a layup. So I again, as Coach said, when you're throwing it into the post or when you're penetrating and drop it off, you have defensive balance, at least 2 or 3 guys back to take away any fast breaks.
And back when you were in practice, Kelvin, getting the ball into the post was a huge part of what you were doing. But what are we in now? We're in the 5-out era. So we're talking about maybe a lot of high school. Some guys coming out of high school, Kelvin, may have never practiced feeding the post. You know what I'm saying? It's not like there's not a lot of post players and establishing that post presence in offenses these days. A lot more, positionless basketball style. I did see one by Jaden Bradley with that wraparound, Kelvin, early, that the guy came around the side. That's just a tough interior passing the ball to the post is one of the more difficult because of the way that the defense is generally on the side, and you got to anticipate where that defender's coming from. But they cleaned it up after that first 5 minutes, DK.
Absolutely, they did. And a couple of those turnovers came at the hand of Caleb Love, but we looked to see him get going offensively, and he started doing that around the 15-minute mark.
On the right side, Caleb Love pulls up for 3. That's good from Caleb Love.
Arizona needed that one for Love to fall down, not just in this game, but for Love overall.
That's Alexis of Tucson Charity 3, and Arizona's back within 2.
And good to see Caleb Love kind of back in his offensive flavor in that ball game last night. Hit that early 3, 28 minutes, 7 of 13 from the floor, 3 of 7 from 3, 20 points for Caleb Love to go along with 4 assists, 2 turnovers. He had a steal. And after the ball game, Caleb Love talked about that first deep ball. He just took what Davidson gave him.
I try not to, take out the bad shots, and that definitely was a confidence booster. And then going in, I wanted to, attack the basket. That was something that, I've been good at my whole career. And so I just wanted to get back to it.
And so glad to see him attack the basket. So glad to see him pushing the ball into the paint and getting some points at the win. We mentioned 3 of 7 from 3, which means he went 4 of 6 in the ball game from 2.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't mind a turnover too. Those 2 early turnovers from being aggressive. You want aggressive Caleb. I think he's a better player when he's going downhill. I said last night in the post game that, I want to see a couple of those dunks where he's getting in the lane dunking. That's part of what made him Pac-12 Player of the Year. So, yeah, just seeing him getting back to enjoying himself and seeing that smile on his face, it seems to radiate to his other teammates. It seems to get them going as well because they all look up to him. I mean, how can you when you've watched a guy? A lot of these guys watched him when they were in high school playing the national championship game. So, you can almost gauge the temperature of the team sometimes off of him, I believe, J-Dub. So I believe that anytime that we can get him going and playing positive, that energy just spreads to the rest of the squad.
Yeah, nobody knows what Caleb could do better than the guys who practice against him every day, Kelvin. So that kill shot, first shot is a kill shot. I'm going to shoot from 25, and then I'm going to shoot from 25 again, that whole thing with 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Caleb can get his shot anytime he wants. Any shot he wants, he can get anytime he wants, double or not. Moving the ball around, guys, and having Caleb make a concerted effort, like Kelvin always says, 2 feet in the lane, establishing that aggressive nature to his game. Because when you can score from anywhere on the court, Kelvin, the most defensive pressure you can put on that team is by being as aggressive as possible off the bounce, especially early. Make those guys get on their back heels, so then those outside shots become much more open throughout the rest of the game.
Exactly.
And another guy who found his offensive punch coming off the bench was the transfer guard from Campbell, Anthony Delorso.
Conrad Martinez, who brings it up for Arizona, over to Townsend, now Delorso. Pulls up for 3. That's good from Anthony Delorso. Why not? Another Lexus of Tucson charity 3.
5 of them. 5 triples for Anthony Delorso on 7 attempts. The Wildcats, a 19-3 run over the last 6 minutes and 16 seconds to put Davidson away.
What a turnaround for Anthony Delorso after he just played 4 minutes and didn't score in the loss at home to Duke. 8 of 11 from the floor, as you heard Ryan Hansen say. 5 of 7 from behind the arc. He had 5 of Arizona's 11 three-point shots made as the Wildcats shot 50% in this ball game from behind the arc. Anthony afterwards said he's been practicing hard to try to put himself in the position to have a game like that.
It's been so long since I played a game, I was trying to get out of that practice slump. But like Caleb said, we all looking out for each other. We all trying to, we all had big moments today, and that's a good thing for our team because we can play together. But yeah, break that cap with that practice feeling into the game mode again, just like last season. That's something I was happy for. But also, Caleb's, being humble, but he also had, 25 rebounds, 4 assists. So, he's been humble, but he had a great game too. So, we all had moments, and it's great for our team to, get that individual success. That way, as a team, we can be better.
Well, and you're going to need Anthony Delorso. There's no question about it. He's the one guy coming off that bench who can really get on a bender like what we saw. You obviously want to see that translate into a game like today against Oklahoma. So I think all eyes are going to be on Anthony to see how he kind of comes back out in a power forward situation because, again, he has struggled in these higher level games. And these are the games where you're going to have to do what you did last night. It's cool. He was at Campbell, so he was used to playing teams like Davidson and putting up nights like that. But we need a much better production factor from him in games like today against Oklahoma.
Kelvin, you were a great defender, okay? And now what you're trying to do as a great defender is make the offensive player uncomfortable and not feel comfortable in what they're doing. And when Delorso came out against Duke, turned the ball over right away and got pulled, that's just a guy who got in his own head about the level of competition, playing against Cooper Flagg, all that, Kelvin. But when Delorso sets his feet and lets it go like he's in his backyard as opposed to worrying about how many media people are watching, it's a pure stroke.
And I'm going to tell you what happens. Sometimes you think the way you played at your lab, like when you're coming from high school, a 5-star, you think when I get to college, I can play the way that I played in college. The way that I played in high school. Well, it's the same when you're coming from a lower level up. He think that maybe he can handle the ball a little bit more, and he showed that if he catch and shoot, set his feet and let the ball go, that he's a way better player. And those are different things that you have to find out once that competition picks up a little bit. I actually think Coach Lloyd took him out of that Duke game, right? He only played 4 minutes, so
he looked in his eyes, right?
But his previous game versus Connecticut kind of had something to do with that, right?
Yeah.
So Coach wasn't going to give him a chance to let it happen in that Duke game. But anyway, I love to see that his first shot was a 2-point shot.
Yeah. And a confident 2-point shot.
There you go. A pull up, a shot that he know he can make. When you a shooter, J-Dub know this, when you a shooter, when you shoot the ball from 3 at a high percentage, you think anything below the 3-point line is a layup.
Right.
So when you pull up and hit a shot like that, DK, you feel like, oh, my 3 ball is on now. So hitting that mid-range shot was huge for him because it opened up that basket for him and opened up opportunity to hit a 3. His next play was an assist, right, before he got to that 3. So now the 3 is wide open because the guys don't know if you're going to shoot a mid-range, if you're going to pass, or what you're going to do. So now the catch and shoot 3 is open. You have some success, and you stick to it.
My favorite drill that I did a million times was I learned at Rick Majerus' basketball camp, and it was the whole, like, under the basket without a guide hand, and you just shoot 10 times with your follow-through, gooseneck, all that stuff. Move to 5 feet, move to 8 feet, move to 10 feet, move to 14 feet, and then finally, by the time you get out to the three-point line, it's like shooting with those medicine balls, those big balls that, like, are almost, 2 inches shorter than the rim size, Kelvin.
Right.
Once that feels good, that's going in. Then when you get the smaller ball in your hand, so yeah, Del Orso is a shooter. So getting inside the 14-foot range, 12-foot range, and seeing the jumper go down just means that confidence for that next one from 3 is going to be so much higher.
And from one shooter to another, Caleb Love just loved seeing what Delly did.
I was so happy to see him break through and make those shots because we in the gym every day and I see how hard he works. He continues to push through mistakes and hardships. And I kind of, like I said, I see myself and him a little bit when I was younger and things like that. I mean, he's not that younger than me, but I knew how I watched his highlights. When Coach Lloyd when he committed, and I know how good he is, how good of a player he is, and like I said, I was happy for him to have this game.
Indeed, and just happy for the Wildcats as a whole to get back into the win column. Head coach Tommy Lloyd, for the most part, when you win by 33, happy with the way that went down.
There were some mistakes made, but man, Davidson puts you in position to make mistakes, and they run their stuff with really good pace, and they're really crafty, and I think we got a little more comfortable in the second half guarding it, but man, I did not feel comfortable until that lead got pretty big, and that's just a credit to them and their system and their program.
Yeah, that's because we talked about it. It looked like they were about to be knocked out when Jaden Bradley made that miraculous save to lead to the Caleb Love 3, but they put up 8 quick points to cut that deficit down to 6, forcing Tommy Lloyd to take a timeout. And then the Wildcats came out after that and I think scored 25 of the next 29 points to put the game away. And they win it 104-71. Looking forward to today's game against Oklahoma. Quick update on your Goldberg and Osborne injury lawyers scoreboard in the other semifinal down at the Battle for Atlantis. 5 minutes, 27 seconds left to go. It is Louisville on top of West Virginia, 55-52. So this would be a good get for Louisville to make the finals of this game. Again, we mentioned a program that has been one of the better programs in the country for a number of years, has had some tough years of late trying to get back to their blue blood status, and winning an early season tournament like this goes a long way to try to help.
Got another good one in that losers bracket today too. Is Umar is playing against his old team.
Exactly.
Oh, Indiana,
that's right.
Yeah, Indiana Gonzaga. So I mean,
right.
even though like a lot of the pre-tournament hype was about Arizona facing off against one of those two teams, those that's a good matchup today as well, coming up in about 40 minutes.
What did they used to say pregame at UCLA? Losing team.
Yeah, right.
Losing team. Right. It is Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day on this Thanksgiving Day. Happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully all the cooking is getting done. Men, make sure you get into the kitchen and help with the ladies. I know Kelvin is doing his thing. He's got his bird going. Is it a bird or what we got going up there at the Kelvin house?
I got the roast done. I
All
got
right.
the dressing done. I got
Okay.
the greens and
Nice.
the beans, and I
All
got
right.
to finish the turkey. I got a turkey breast, actually.
There we go. All right. I'm hungry already. Make sure you bring me a plate tomorrow. All right. All right. Much more coming up for you straight ahead. It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. We'd love to hear from you if you're out there today, outside on the grill or inside in the kitchen. Give us a call, 520-848-1290, or shoot us a text and let us know your thoughts on Arizona basketball as we get you set for today's game against Oklahoma. With Kelvin Ifan and JW Madden, I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona basketball is just getting started. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 1 of the pregame show is brought to you by Desert Diamond Casinos, First Chiropractic, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing, Restaurant Supply Store, Royal GMC Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, the Polston Results Team with Keller Williams Southern Arizona, the Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
All right, she's inside. Are you good?
Yeah, it's just, she's my baby girl, you know?
I do, and ceramic coating was a good choice.
Oh, she's beautiful.
Yep, I know.
Recon Auto Detailing. Enhance or restore your baby to her former glory with paint recondition, ceramic coating, paint protection, tinting, and more for full protection of your vehicle inside and out. New cars, old cars, we love them all. Recon Auto Detailing, 3829 North Oracle Road, Tucson. ReconDetail.com.
Air conditioning in decades. New EPA regulations mean AC costs could rise by up to 25%. If you've been thinking about replacing your old AC, now's the time. Rightway is offering zero interest financing and a free furnace when you replace your AC this month. Don't wait till next year when prices go up. Call Rightway today for your free no obligation estimate. Call 520-549-2697.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rocking K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Visit Lennar's 2 communities in Rocking K, with home savings up to $25,000 and limited time interest rate and closing cost incentives on select move-in ready homes. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
JT Auto, where customers are family. Trust your vehicle to JT Auto professional and reliable automotive repair and maintenance services. JT Auto is conveniently located off Fort Lowell and Country Club. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guaranteed, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where customers are family. 623-7066. That's 623-7066.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic is pleased to announce that Access Health Plans now cover chiropractic care. A referral by your PCP is required. For more information, go to firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care. A proud U of A radio sponsor.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Do you trust those in charge of your financial future? Trust is founded on 3 core principles: competence, honesty, and benevolence. Those making decisions about your financial future should always place your best interest ahead of their own. I'm Natalie Fernandez-Lee, and at Meridian Wealth Management, fostering trusted relationships with our clients is our top priority. Call us at 719-1433 or visit meridianwealthllc.com to learn more today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 5-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE Eagle.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. The one and only home of Arizona basketball. Pre- and post-game coverage, play-by-play, and live press conferences. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Ifan, and J.W. Madden. Our first look at today's Arizona men's basketball game is brought to you by the Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindowdepot.com.
And it is the Arizona Wildcats and the Oklahoma Sooners for the 8th time today in the Bahamas. The battle for the Atlantis semifinals. Oklahoma leads the all-time series 5-2. This is an interesting series in that they have played twice here in Tucson. Arizona won both of those meetings. They have played twice in Norman. The Sooners won both of those meetings. They have played 3 times on neutral courts, all in the NCAA tournament, and all won by the Oklahoma Sooners.
That was the first time I was sad, Kelvin, because of sports. Was that 88
game? Yeah. Yeah, that was national semifinals, right?
It was.
Yeah.
First Final Four trip for Arizona,
Yep.
yeah.
86-78. That was the first ever meeting.
I'm trying to remember.
Gosh.
Oklahoma coach, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, it was probably Coach Tubbs. First ever meeting came in 88, and then they had a home and home right after that, which kind of, I'm sure that boosted the rivalry. 89 and 90 in Norman in 89, and then in Tucson in 90, and then again back-to-back NCAA tournament losses in 1999, a 1-point loss in Milwaukee, and then in 2002, a 21-point defeat in San Jose.
Billy Tubbs was the coach. Stacey King, Harvey Grant, Mookie Blaylock. Might remember some of them names.
Because he ended up getting the job at TCU when once I had committed to Arizona, and he did not want me to come out here.
Right.
I've heard that story.
I'm telling you, he was like, what are you doing? Why are you going out there? It was Coach Tubb. I love Coach Tubb. Man, he was a good guy.
If you have memories of the Sooners from those early years, we'd love to hear those today. 520-848-1290. Porter Moser is their head coach now at Oklahoma. Porter Moser is in his, I believe, fourth season, I'm sorry. They went 20-12 last year, finished 8-10 in the Big 12. That was the first team to reach 20 regular season wins at Oklahoma since that 2016 Oklahoma Sooners team that went to the Final Four. They beat Providence in a little bit of a strange game last night, 79-77, in which it got a little weird at the end where the bench came on the floor and was called for a technical foul with 3 seconds left. 6 Oklahoma players were on the court. A reserve actually walked on the court without the horn sounding to allow him in the game. So that's essentially what happened there.
Apparently, their whole MO is to sub out late free throw situations. So they have it regimented where they go, and yet the coaching staff, Kelvin, did not communicate with the players. That's what they do.
Right.
But in that particular case, the player went out because that's what they do. The coaches didn't signal for him, and he didn't go to the front desk, and they have 6 players on the court with, 3 seconds to go?
Yeah.
Up 6, just really weird.
52 free throws in that game. Certainly not the 87 that the Wildcats experienced in the game at Wisconsin, but Porter Moser said, 52 is a lot.
Well, it was going on both ways. Both teams were getting to the foul line. I think it's 2 very, very physical defenses, and I thought both teams. So it is very hard, but it was on both ends. Both teams were getting to the foul line, so it wasn't that I didn't think it was lopsided at all. So it's just a lot of free throws.
A lot of free throws. Indeed. Kobe Ellis is one of their top scorers, and Kobe talked about the fact that it was the guards in this. I'm sorry, Porter Moser first. Let's hear from him first. Porter Moser talking about Kobe Ellis's performance in this game.
He was super efficient, made shots, but he was efficient. Didn't take a lot of bad shots. He really made some good shots, and I thought that was huge. Got to the foul line, had 3 assists, or one, but he 3 rebounds, I think it was. He had 3 rebounds, but super efficient. I mean, 26 points on 14 shots, really efficient. And he was one of the top 10 efficient guys last year. It was one of the big reasons we wanted him to lead us is efficiency.
You know, Arizona retired that guy from his last school.
Dayton.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's Arizona knocked
Exactly.
Dayton out of the NCAA tournament last year, and his last game played at Dayton was that NCAA tournament game last March.
Played 1 season at DePaul, played the 3 years at Dayton, playing this 1 year as a grad transfer. And already this season in 5 games, he's averaging 14 points and 4 assists. And like you said, the 26-point performance to go along with a big night by the true freshman, Jermaine Fears. He said that Kobe after the game that it was all about the guard play for Oklahoma last night.
We went smaller, very, very small. I think that's what kind of, helped us, break away. We had Duke, who was in foul trouble in the first half, and he came and really impacted, the end of that game. And I think him and Jeremiah, just their aggressiveness, on the ball and off the ball, they were pests today, and they came up with some big, big steals.
We'll get into Jeremiah Fears a little bit later in the show, but this is a talented young man. He has already had 6+ assists in 3 of their 5 games this season.
Yeah, no, man, he understands getting into the paint. He's drawing the defense and he's finding guys, whether it's guys at the basket or guys on the perimeter. That's just the way that this kid plays, man. He's a very high IQ, a true 5-star player, and he just seems to be real heady for such a young guy.
And K-Rock, that's pretty standard because if you're talking about a 17-year-old reclassifying to the next class, if you're a guard, I mean, the skills that you need to be able to be successful at this level in order to reclassify and get in that next class. I think it was like the 23rd, 24th ranked recruit in next year's class before he reclassified. But, the stats that you're talking about and what he's shown out there on the court, you would expect that more from a young guard who reclassifies as opposed to maybe some bigs might be take a little bit more time and have those physical measurements. But, yeah, that kid is playing out of his mind.
He's from Joliet, Illinois, Jeremiah Fears. He was supposed to go to Illinois initially, but then he came out to play at Arizona Compass Prep up in Phoenix and ended up in Norman instead. We'll hear from the head coach on how that all went down coming up a little bit later. Arizona, though, last night, a 33-point win. Tommy Lloyd said after the game it was as good an offensive night as they have had yet this season.
I think there was good tempo. There was good ball movement. I think we were kind of getting our break going a little bit north-south. And then I think once we kind of settled in the half court, we were getting the ball going east and west, side to side, and kind of, finding angles to attack. And, our big guys, they weren't perfect, but they're coming along.
Interesting. Obviously, it wasn't necessarily a high assist night in terms of that 13, but you can still be effective with your ball movement without necessarily, having those types of numbers.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a lot of times, when you're getting in there and you're moving the ball around, you're making those extra passes. I mean, I'm surprised that it was only 14 because it seems like the guys were getting a bunch of catch and shoots.
You know what that is if it was an NBA game, it would have been 35.
Exactly.
Because in NBA, they count assists. Like, if you pass a guy the ball and he takes 3 dribbles to the basket, that's an assist. But in the college level, and whoever's sitting at that score table and makes those decisions, I think a lot of those, Kelvin, were a good, clean pass around to get an angle to attack, and they just don't count that as an assist at this level.
We've had a lot of people not happy with some of the stat things happening in college basketball so far.
I think AI is doing all the stat
this
stuff
season.
now,
Maybe you never know. That might be what's happening. Wildcats obviously had lost 2 games in a row, so it was important for them to get back on the winning stretch. And after KJ Lewis talks about this team trying to be patient with all the new pieces that are coming in. You talk about Anthony Del Orso and Toby Awaka and obviously a Trey Townsend, trying to be patient and get those guys back. Henry Vasar coming off injury while still trying to win games.
I think, the guys that have been here last year, trying to, get all the new guys on the same page and, get them to the standard of Arizona basketball. Again, it's a new atmosphere, new system for them. So, just from the coach down to, the vets, we just got to be better as a group to help them, and, help them fit right into, what we want to do.
And that's why you kind of always hear, I mean, we can go back to the Sean Miller years, and he always talked about honor the process because, again, things are not going to click right away in any given instance with any given team in any given season. You have to take those steps to get to the point where you can be an effective group in the month of March, and that is what we're seeing with this team, says Jaden Bradley.
Coach Lloyd's been here for a while, and the stuff he's done in the past has worked. So we got to really buy into the system and, really just over these next couple of days bond and, really figure this thing out.
There you go. All right. That is our initial take on Arizona and Oklahoma.
That's been our first look at today's Arizona men's basketball game. Brought to you by The Window Depot. Lowest prices and biggest inventory. Shop thewindow.depot.com.
And don't forget, Window Depot also sponsors Arizona's top rebounding performance every night. It's the Window Depot glass cleaner of the game. Might be the Wildcat with the most rebounds. Might be the U of A star with the most impactful boards. We'll tell you the Window Depot glass cleaner of the game coming up tonight on the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day post-game show. It is the pregame version from Meridian Wealth Management, along with Kelvin Efon and J.W. Madden. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond. The round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead. Live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Tohono O'odham Nation.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Driving the lane, dunking on the competition, and playing as a team. These are things we'll see this season watching our Wildcats play basketball. These happen to be the things you'll also find when you buy your next vehicle from O'Reilly Chevrolet. The only difference is at O'Reilly, nobody gets penalized for traveling. Heck, we actually encourage it. See us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or find new roads at O'Reilly.com, where you can experience our version of a steal. O'Reilly Chevrolet, more than a great price.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rocking K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rocking K is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 18 model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. LiveRockingK.com. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
JT Auto, where customers are family. Trust your vehicle to JT Auto professional and reliable automotive repair and maintenance services. JT Auto is conveniently located off Fort Lowell and Country Club. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guaranteed, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where customers are family. 623-7066. That's 623-7066.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Efon, and J.W. Madden.
Back to Bradley. He'll drive left along the baseline. Floaters up, no good. Owaka's there for the offensive rebound. His second chance opportunity is no good. Another chance as Owaka lays it in for two.
Put on your hard hat.
Pass out to Caleb Love for three. It's airball, no good. Straight to Owaka, who lays it in for 2 and 1.
Tobe Owaka and Trey Townsend are men amongst boys in the lane right now.
Our pregame show Spotlight on a Cat is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Lays it in for 2 and 1. Not bad there. Mr. Brody Dryden will be on the call again today down in the Bahamas, where, like clockwork, guess what, folks? We've got overtime in the first game of the day. 67-67 currently.
The first
on
overtime so far.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, first game of the day, which means we got a chance for more overtime.
Well, it's tied in overtime is what I'm saying.
Oh, I say,
could
be more
overtimes.
overtime,
Yeah.
more than one overtime. I got you, yeah. That's your Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers scoreboard. So this game for Arizona, scheduled to start at 3 o'clock, probably not going to start at 3 o'clock today. But we'll keep you posted as we go along with our program here this afternoon.
I got a gear to grind real quick. So yesterday during the broadcast, the Arizona game was on the Deuce. And normally, guys, when we're waiting for an Arizona game to start, Kelvin, and there's another game on TV that goes late, goes to overtime or whatever, what do? They stay with that game, right? And so you miss the first 5 minutes of the Arizona game. Yesterday, it's about, a minute or two into the second half, and they just cut Arizona off, and they say, well, it's on ESPN Plus and all these things. I go, look, it wasn't. I couldn't find it for at least 10 minutes on ESPN Plus after they cut it off of the Deuce to show the start of a different game. So it's like the opposite of what we're used to is you got to wait for the tip for the Arizona game for some other game to end. They just didn't even bother.
And it wasn't even a championship game, right? It was like the third place game or something like that.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people that were hot.
Yeah, it was like North Carolina and who was it?
Michigan State, I think.
Yeah,
maybe?
I mean, two great teams, two great programs. No, don't get me wrong, and a lot of fans. The reason that decision was made, guys, was because some producer looked at some numbers and said Michigan State and North Carolina, probably bring more eyeballs. I mean, simple as that.
Right. Yeah, but it was weird because I was watching it on ESPN Plus in the office, so I was shocked that, because normally that's just a direct feed. It's not like a TV feed. So I was shocked when I lost it there. And so, like you said, then I had to it took me 10 minutes. I had to reboot the program 2 times, and it finally popped back up again. And I was able to watch the end of it. Yeah, but that was not fun last night for a lot of Arizona fans out there who were trying to watch their Wildcats, like Tobe Owaka, who was back in the starting lineup for the Arizona Wildcats and had a pretty nice ball game. To say the least. Tobe Owaka, 14 minutes. He only played 14 minutes because he got into some foul trouble. But in those 14 minutes, he had 13 points and 10 rebounds for the Arizona Wildcats. 5 at the offensive end, 5 at the defensive end. Tobe is scoring on a lot of those offensive rebounds. And he talks about, he was asked if he's always looking to score when he gets an offensive rebound?
It kind of just depends on my positioning. You know, when I do get an offensive rebound, it's kind of tough because you're usually like jumping in the air and then you land, and you know where you jump from is not where you landed, so you kind of have to reaccount for where the basket is and where the defender is in proportion to the basket. So usually, if it's not like a clear shot, I'll try to kick it up.
You know what's interesting about Toby? It doesn't look like he's trying to do a lot of tip-ins. He's actually trying to possess the basketball first and then go back up with it if he's close.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably had experience of understanding that those tips usually don't go in. So I want to guarantee myself that rebound by grabbing it with two hands, which he does a great job of. To me, he high points the ball. That means as high as his hands go above his head is where he grabs the ball, and then he chins it, bring it down to his chin. And again, if he doesn't have the easy rebound, he kicks it out to his guys. So that's why when the guards have the ball, they don't mind giving it to him because he's always creating those extra opportunities.
Tommy Lloyd says offensive rebounds are good, and he wishes every offensive rebound was a putback.
On every offensive rebound, you want to score. I mean, offensive rebounding, usually leads to some of the most efficient shots in the game because you're close to the basket. There's foul pressure, I don't know exactly what our numbers are after an offensive rebound, but I would just say overall, I just want to keep our offense, trending in the right direction, and hopefully, we can, get better at what we want to do, make adjustments where we need to make adjustments as things play out.
Last night, they had 12 offensive rebounds as a team and got 17 second chance points, did the Wildcats in that particular bowl game. And again, we mentioned that Toby Awaka has had some games with foul trouble. He got in some foul trouble at Wisconsin. Obviously, he got into a little bit of foul trouble in the game yesterday and only played the limited amount of minutes, 14 minutes. But he says he cannot worry about fouls when he's going up to rebound.
Just have to be a little bit more disciplined. They came on a rebound, so that's sort of part of my game, being aggressive, going for those offensive rebounds. So, those I don't really get too mad at myself about. It's just, kind of me being me. But, just got to mitigate those fouls that are sort of away from the basket, around the three-point line, whether, it's hand checks or just silly fouls, reaching in, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, again, like no blocking fouls out on the perimeter, those types of things you got to stay away from if you're a guy like Toby Awaka.
Exactly. The rule, and he's really saying what the rule is. As an offensive rebounder, your coach doesn't care what you have to do to get that rebound. That's just the way it is a lot of times. I mean, they don't get mad when you make a foul in there because, one, that foul is so far away from their basket to be able to score. He's fine with that. So, and plus he's been aggressive, taking away their big guys from running the court. Usually when you have great offensive rebounders, they have to send 5 guys to rebound, DK. So that takes away their ability to get out in transition and to get easy buckets. So having a guy like Tobe who rebounds like that on offensive boards and KJ Lewis, having guys like that, it forces those guys, their defense, to send 5 guys to the defensive board and they can't leak out.
Are we legally allowed to talk about offensive rebounding this week without mentioning Dan Hurley? Because, I mean, the first 2 games in that tournament, the first game they lost because his player went legally, Kelvin, over the back. You're talking about coaches don't care what they do for that offensive board. Refs do, right? So it's like how they're calling that. Tobe doesn't seem like the kind of guy who's going over the top of people. So as far as getting low, getting leverage, getting that junior work early, and commanding that space, Tobe is ideal for that.
Yeah, and what I was gonna say though, but what you need is guys who don't care. They're towing that line of foul. And
they're not worried about getting foul trouble.
Yeah, they're not worried about it. I mean, he understands that we have several guys behind him that can come in and play, and they're gonna play. That's no like if I know I'm gonna bag up anything, I got to give everything on every opportunity because I know my opportunities are gonna be limited. That's why he got 10 rebounds because that's the mindset that he's playing with. Like I gotta get it in right now because I know for sure I'm sharing minutes, and if I don't play well, Creevus is going to be starting.
Tobe's a career high is 24 minutes. Is the most he ever played in a college basketball game last year. 24, Kelvin. So, I mean, talking about that's the attitude coming in when he was coming off the bench last few years, obviously for Tennessee. And then knowing, like you just said, Mo's in there, Vasar can play a little center if he needs to. He doesn't have to have that worry about they need his 5 fouls. They need him to be in there for 35 minutes or else Arizona's going to struggle.
One of the notes in Arizona's starting 5, which is a section that they put on the front page of their game notes, the Wildcats are currently second in the country, averaging 17 offensive rebounds per game. Now, what did I say? They had 12, so they were down, but they're averaging 17 per game. Toby Awaka is averaging 5 offensive rebounds per game, and that's third best in the country.
You know who you remind me of, guys? Is Rico Gathers. Remember Rico from Baylor?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he reminded me of him.
Tommy Lloyd says that it was asked if Toby Awaka and the way he rebounds is rubbing off on the others on this team.
I mean, I hope so. I mean, you hope it's contagious, but like rebound is something we coach every day. So, I don't want to, to say, Tobe showed up here and now, the other bigs decided they want to rebound. I mean, it's something we valued, every day of practice, in my time here at Arizona. So, and it's something we're going to continue to value.
The greatest coaches in college emphasize rebounding first, everything else second. Kelvin, who got to start back when Coach Olson was running things around here?
The best rebounders and defenders.
Yeah, they track those stats right in practice.
I mean, every one of them.
Yep.
And they're on the wall. You go and look on the wall. They tell you all your percentages for everything from free throws to layups to whatever. It's right there.
Toby Awaka is from New York, obviously from Rochester, New York is where Toby reigns from. He is one of 2 New Yorkers on the team, joining Jaden Bradley. In fact, the two of them butted heads on the AAU circuits and the youth circuits of the East back in the day.
JB had played on Chris Paul's AAU team, CP3. So I remember playing against him in high school. I was on New York Lightning. He was on CP3. So I sort of heard about him, knew his game. But the fact that, 2 New York guys are here, I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, we like those New York guys. I mean, we go back to Kevin Parham, no easy buckets. He was the type of guy.
Maybe.
Khalid Ribs, exactly.
Yeah, Khalid, man. That was
a lot of
New York.
A lot of fat Momo Jones too. Obviously, was ran the point and played with a lot of hustle, and a lot of heart, and a lot of grit. And Toby seems to be cut out of that same type of cloth for sure. Jaden Bradley, in fact, loving the fact that. He's got guys like Toby Awaka and Caleb Love who can make him a better basketball player.
Unbelievable threats. C Love is going to, attract the defense and get double teams. We got Tobe down there. He's going to cause double teams. So, them being so good offensively, that's, opening up my game. And, they gotta pick one or the other now. So.
What have you seen Caleb, too? It seems like he's more efficient or trying to be less shooter. You know what I'm saying?
Credit to C Love, just the journey he's been on and, all the feedback everyone has, but they really don't see the work ethic and all the stuff he's putting in. He's giving a lot up for the team. He could come down and shoot a 3 anytime he want to. So, credit to him for buying into the team and just wanting to be a winner.
And we talked about that. It's hard because he's trying to make some adjustments to his game. Caleb Love is to get to where he wants to get at the next level. And then you're not maybe doing some of the things that people are used to you doing. And now you look up like we talked about, and you got guys doing breakdowns, attacking your body language and that kind of thing because it's not the way that people are used to seeing you play the game.
Yeah, and when you're trying to, play to impress, executives and stuff like that, sometimes they throw you off. We've been around here and seen many of a guy, go through those different things, those different pressures of, trying to figure out a way to get to the next level, the dream that they always had. But when it just seems when guys have a chance to settle down and just play basketball, the thing that they've been doing and been successful at the whole time, it seems like that body language and that love gets back there. Sometimes I can't understand people not understanding people's body language. These guys care, man. You know what I'm saying? They put a lot of time into this. I mean, he can hoop. So when you see him like that, yes, it's something that you want him to get better at because he has young guys on the team that could, that I do believe don't play well when they see him like that, right? But at the same time, he's still a guy that is maturing. He need coach to continue to help him develop as he is and help him turn the corner as he did in that game. And that's just reminding him of the little things, and that's being aggressive and using your teammates.
Yeah, I mean, he's a flow natural. You know, when he's feeling good about himself, Kelvin, it comes really natural. It's like changing your shooting form. You know, if you need your mechanics tweaked a little bit, that first 6 months, year is going to be awkward because when you go up, you want to do that natural thing you've been doing for 18 years of your life. Caleb, listening to what scouts want to see from him at the next level, projecting that, Kelvin, a player could get in their heads a little bit too much about what feels right, what I know I can get, what I know I can do naturally on the court relative to what I'm hearing in my head about some kind of advice I was given about, you know, maybe work on your, you know, 2-dribble right step back or whatever, because that's a shot you're going to get later. Just don't think about that too much. Don't stay out of your head so much and just stay in the flow and take what the defense gives you. And then the team has success when your personal goals align with the team's goals. And that's what you're doing for 40 minutes out there. That's how good basketball is played at this level. The scout stuff, you know, everything he needs to work on, Kelvin, to get drafted or get wherever he needs to get to, that's going to come as long as he plays good basketball every single play down the court and just stays in his head, stays out of his head.
And I'll just say this. I think that he wants to do the right thing. I think that the team needs him to be that guy. I mean, he's the true scorer on this team, and the second guy is there also. You know, after that, the rest of the guy, I mean, Krevis, let's not take Krevis away, but it's kind of easy to take big man away in college.
Yeah.
Because you can double and send everybody down there to take them away. So the guard play is very important. So having a guy with the abilities of Caleb Love being aggressive is important to the team. I just think that, you know, sometimes regardless of who you are, he's coming back. I mean, a lot of people would think that he would have left after his second year. So he's 3 years that he probably could have went on and moved on and played professional basketball. So there's a certain level of Coach Lloyd and those guys that you're going to let him do his thing because you appreciate that he's even here. But with that being said, it's almost like T-Mac, right? But with that being said, I think having these games early where he can get through this really helps him out at the end of the day because now he can settle in and just hoop as we saw last night.
And we cannot talk to one Toby Awaka without finding out what book he is currently reading on this road trip down to Paradise.
So I'm reading a book by C.S. Lewis. It's called Tragedy Observed. It's a great book. Sorry, the book is called A Grief Observed. Sorry. It sort of looking into Christianity and sort of how looks into sort of the death of his wife and how he's coping with that, being a Christian, and sort of how he battles the emotion and sort of feeling lost, and sort of the disconnect he feels with his faith when he loses his wife, and sort of his battles with that. So it's been a great read. It's very authentic. You know, he goes kind of deep into his emotion of, you know, how that whole event really affected him.
How many books would you say you read in a month or so?
You know, with school now, school's been kind of, you know, more tedious, so I haven't really been able to read as many as I would like, but I would probably say around two or three.
Again, the name of that book is A Grief Observed by C.S. Lewis. It is a story, a personal story by the author C.S. Lewis, who lost his wife to cancer back in 1960, and the pain that he went through and suffered as a result of that loss in his life. That is the book that Toby Awaka is reading currently, so why don't you go out and check that novel out as well. It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. We've got a final on the Bad Boy Mowers Battle for Atlantis semifinal Game 1. The Louisville Cardinals defeat the West Virginia Mountaineers. So we threw the poll out there. Which team did you want to see in the final? And the choices were West Virginia, Indiana, Gonzaga, and Louisville. And Louisville got 0 votes. And that's the team that if you win today, you're going to face the Louisville Cardinals, led by Mr. Chuck.
Well, Denny Crum's not walking through that door, right?
No, he's not. No, he's not. This is not your daddy. This is not your brothers, I should say, because that's our generation. This is not your brother's Louisville team.
And that's the problem right there, because it isn't, and guys underestimate him a little bit, and that's the reason why they're going to the championship today.
There you go.
You know, hopefully if we win, we don't look at him like that. You know, hopefully we look at him like that is, was it Crum?
Yeah, Denny
Was
Crum.
it Coach Crum? Denny Crum,
Yeah.
Coach Crum. You know, you look at it like it's that type of history, because you know the last thing you want to do is lose to a Louisville in this tournament, because you came here to play the higher ranking teams,
right?
The Gonzagas or possibly the Indianas. You know, so having to play these teams and us kind of being the higher ranked, the higher ranked team, man, we can't even afford to lose them.
Chucky Hepburn, 32.6 steals today for the Louisville Cardinals. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. That's your spotlight on a cat.
That's today's Spotlight on a Cat has been brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. Get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet. Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona basketball is just getting started. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 1 of the pregame show is brought to you by Desert Diamond Casinos, First Chiropractic, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing, Restaurant Supply Store, Royal GMC Buick and Cadillac, Royal Kia, Royal Jaguar Land Rover, the Polston Results Team with Keller Williams Southern Arizona, the Window Depot, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
The Window Depot is more than a window store. The Window Depot is a one-stop warehouse with everything you need for your complete home remodel. Shop the aisles of pre-built cabinets in a variety of colors, granite and quartz countertops, sinks, skylights, and hardware to complete your project. Need a custom order? We can help. Our designers offer free design services and can special order everything you need for your kitchen or bathroom remodel today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 five-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE Eagle.
Come out to Dave & Buster's, the best place outside of the stadium to see the games this football season. Monday and Thursday, get all-you-can-eat wings with game card for $19.99. Sunday, get in on the chance to win a big game watch party at Dave & Buster's in front of the big screen. Plus other big prizes and weekly winners. Join them now through October 22nd. All day, every day. They'll be offering $5 22-ounce drafts only at Dave & Buster's. Make Dave & Buster's your place to watch the games.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rockin' K. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or RoyalKia.com.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
It's November and the weather is cooling down. Now is the time to have your furnace serviced to ensure that it's operating safe and efficient. We also have a $79 garbage disposal service. And check out our monthly plumbing specials on our website. Call Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing for all your plumbing and heating needs at 520-492-0748 or picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating and Plumbing.
Driving the lane, dunking on the competition, and playing as a team. These are things we'll see this season watching our Wildcats play basketball. These happen to be the things you'll also find when you buy your next vehicle from O'Reilly Chevrolet. The only difference is at O'Reilly, nobody gets penalized for traveling. Heck, we actually encourage it. See us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or find new roads at O'Reilly.com where you can experience our version of a steal. O'Reilly Chevrolet, more than a great price.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Previs turnaround, gets it off, and it rolls in for two. Oh my! KJ Lewis slams it home. Stolen away by Bradley. Caleb on a breakaway windmill jam.
Arizona basketball never sleeps. Bear down, Cats. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. The Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We're getting closer to tip-off for today's Arizona basketball game. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hour number 2 of your Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show. Arizona coming off a 104-71 win over Davidson, getting set for Oklahoma. It was a bounce-back game for one Caleb Love.
Del Orso up top, pass to Caleb Love. No look pass to Vasar as he'll finish it with the dunk. And another steal from Jaden Bradley. He'll pass to Caleb Love for three. It's good! Caleb Love with the Lexus of Tucson charity three. What a sequence from Arizona. Oh, the bench is on its feet. The Wildcat fans are on their feet. Arizona leads 68-51.
Good contingent of Arizona Wildcat fans down there in the Bahamas. 7 steals last night for Arizona. 2 of those coming from Jaden Bradley, who seems to be perfecting that sneaky inbounds theft. We've seen that at least now, I think, 3 times this season that he has been able to get that.
And you know what that is, DK? A lot of people don't understand this. A lot of that has to do with watching film. When you watch film and you notice that a team just takes it out quickly and throw the ball in before they even really think about it, because a lot of teams want to rush the ball back up the court to force you back on defense, right, to make you get back because they're getting it back up, and it gives them more time to actually run their offense if they get it out quick, and get it up there. And so he used that against them. That's something that he saw in film study, and he used that against them and jumped up there, kind of like that kid Alvarez from out there in Miami.
Alvarado,
Miami
Grand Theft Alvarado is what they call it. TJ's real good at that too. It's like poker.
Have you ever seen him do it, DK? No. Oh, you got to look it up, man. When you get
he gets real tiny, so he's about 5'10", 5'11" to begin with, but he crouches down and sometimes hides behind other players on the inbounds and stays in the backcourt. But it's like poker. I mean, if you could read, the guy who wins the most chips at a table is the guy who reads people. That thing you're talking about with Jaden Bradley is really watching the film, Kelvin, seeing that a point guard might be turning his head back towards the inbound in the ball and not be cognizant of what's going on around him. That's an easy pick if you're paying attention.
And I'm going to tell you what it was. Their point guard always got the ball at the sideline.
Yep.
Did you notice that?
Maybe
that's where
the
he got the
coach
steal from the sideline. Yeah. And so, and a lot of time what they tell us to go to the sideline, but if somebody's there or trying to, come and get a steal, we have to come back to the basketball, right? Basically come straight back to the inbounder, right? But the guy was just standing there. They're so used to getting that easy pass. They're not used to playing against people who pressure up like that. And Jaden Bradley was going out on his own too, doing it, which I'm sure they wasn't ready for.
Tommy Lloyd really liked the way his team played, called the win over Davidson a step forward back for Arizona.
As you reassess your team, about a month or so into the season, you're seeing growth opportunities, and I see so many opportunities for us to grow. And I think now that I'm getting a little bit better understanding of this group is, maybe we had to struggle a little bit and kind of find our way. And then, guys have to have these breakthrough moments. And listen, there's no guarantee that Delhi's going to play the same game tomorrow. But, I think there's a better chance than there was, 2 weeks ago.
And we hope he does continue to kind of build on that. You'd really like to see him. And again, that's one of the things I'll kind of be watching today, just to see how he performs against a more normal power forward type of situation that you're going to get today from the Oklahoma Sooners. Let's update you on everything that is happening around college basketball today.
Let's take a look at what's happening today around the rest of the country. Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers.
Well, we've already told you that the first game of the day at the Bad Boy Mowers Battle for Atlantis went to overtime, and it was won by Louisville. So Louisville is on to the finals of that event as they take down West Virginia today by a score of 79-70. Game number 2 is about to get going. A few of the numbers from that ball game. Again, Chucky Hepburn, 32 points, the guard from Louisville. He was 8 of 12 from the field, but he was 14 of 17 from the line in this ball game for the Cardinals. The Cardinals, they don't play a lot of guys. They only played 8 guys. Really, they only played 6 guys in this game. So not a ton of minutes out there for a lot of guys off of their bench, but 32 for Chucky Hepburn to go along with 6 steals in that ball game.
Well, in reality, that's what we usually play, 7. I think we have, a few more guys that actually can, deserve minutes, on this team. But when you're trying to reestablish your program, you don't got time to be messing around, DK. you got to have your best guys in the game, man. You got your 7 guys that are going to play, that have earned that position. Hey, it's go time. Well, these games are important to them. They're trying to position themselves, for a tournament run. So, hey, they going for it right now.
You earn PT in practice. You earn trust of the coaching staff by producing in games. Look no further than Alamo Bowl. In those first 10 games of his sophomore season, guys, he got a ton of minutes, 25-plus minutes. Then he got out of the rotation because he lost the trust of the coaching staff. So, guys like Del Orso, he might get a game where he gets pulled after 4 or 5 minutes if he looks in the coach's eyes, Kelvin. But it doesn't mean that the next game out, he can't pay 25 and score. We just have to be comfortable out there.
And you took the words out of my mouth. I was going to say that. I'm saying, who's in control of making sure that Del Orso doesn't go crazy with the shots number and missing shots? It's coach.
Right.
Especially when it's a backup player. Now, you give Caleb a longer rope because he's a starter. He's one of your key guys. Del Orso is working his way into being one of your top 7 because right now, I think he's about 8.
Yeah.
Right now, he's about 8 because who we got? Crevis.
Vasar.
Yeah, and Vasar. So right now he's about 8 because you want to play heavy minutes really with those 3 guards that's in the game anyway. You want about 30, 35 with them. So he's the guy that's trying to pull some of those minutes, but it's going to depend on, is he able to defend and is he knocking down shots? If he's not doing those 2 things or one of those things, then his minutes are going to go down drastically.
The next game of the day coming up in the Bahamas is going to feature 2 top 15 teams. Number 14, Indiana. Number 3, Gonzaga. The Hoosiers lost yesterday.
Ballo out of the left wing here for Indiana. Handoff, faked to Mbako, given to Carlisle. Slips it to Ballo inside. 2-hand jam.
Umar Ballo, 11 points in that loss yesterday for the Indiana Hoosiers. So they'll get Gonzaga today in the losers bracket semifinal. Umar Ballo so far in the season averaging 29 minutes. He is scoring 12 points and grabbing 9 rebounds. So almost a double-double for Big O. A lot of transfers, obviously, is one of the reasons why. A lot of expectations for the Indiana Hoosiers. Miles Rice, who did not necessarily have a good game yesterday, but playing 30 minutes and scoring 12 points per ball game so far through the early part after he transferred over. Cannon Carlisle, who also came over from the Pac-12. He was at Stanford, if I'm not mistaken,
correct.
23 minutes for him, but he is only scoring 4 points per ball game so far.
The real question people wanted to know was, is Umar Ballo shooting 90% from the field in his first 8 games like he always does? 68.6 right now.
And he's shooting free throws left-handed.
Yep.
11 of 20 so far. So that's a little over 50%. So, not that much better, but I'm anxious to see what it looks like.
I liked what Wilt did. Wilt, back in the day, like when he was struggling, he moved like 4 feet back and he was shooting jump shots from like 14 feet, Kelvin. Whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes to get rhythm.
And the reason why is the ball is so light, so once you bag up a little bit, it gives you a little bit better touch. So I don't know why some of the bigger guys don't actually do it, more often.
Shaq tried everything, man. He was doing the one-handed thing for a while, too.
One game already in progress in the top 25. Number 18, Florida, looking to go to 7-0, taking on 6-1 Wake Forest. That is the ESPN Events Invitational, just underway there. This will be one of 7 games in the top 25 today. Arizona and Oklahoma. Also, you've got North Carolina State taking on number 13 Purdue today at the Ratty Children's Invitational. Out in San Diego, 19th ranked Arkansas will face Illinois, Colin Boswell and company. That's the Thanksgiving Hoops Showcase in Kansas City at the T-Mobile Center. BYU gets a game against a ranked team out at that Ratty Children's Invitational. It is the Tigers, who are 5-0 to start the season, taking on number 23 Ole Miss today. And at the Mullet Arena, we've got the Arizona Tip-Off happening up north. It is Mississippi State, number 25 in the country, against UNLV today. In the Big 12, also I guess they're having, that's interesting, they're having a tournament in Tempe, but Arizona State is not participating in that tournament because they are actually over at the Acrisure Classic today. The Sun Devils at 5-1 are going to take on New Mexico at 5-1 today.
Well, Palm Springs, Tempe.
Right.
Exactly. GCU isn't in there either?
I don't know who's in that tournament. I'll have to see exactly who all is in that
crazy,
tournament. Yeah.
They should at least have NAU. Like, wow.
Right.
You got a tournament in Arizona and no Arizona team?
Santa Clara and TCU on the docket. That's also at the Acrisure Invitational today. TCU is 4-1. And that wraps up everything that is happening in the Big 12. We'll find out who all is in that tournament over in Tempe and have that update coming for you.
One other,
later.
Not necessarily score of note, guys, but in case you missed the ending of the overtime between the Minnesota Golden Gophers and Wichita State Shockers, a guy named Brennan Rigsby, guys, double clutched over 2 defenders, hit every single part of the rim in the backboard before the ball went out on this 3-point attempt at the buzzer. Kelvin, that might have been the craziest last-second shot I've ever seen. First of all, it was a double clutch. He went up, pumped it back down, shot it over 2 defenders. It hit the back of the rim, top of the backboard, left side of the rim, right side of the rim before slowly falling off. It was one of those, it took 5 seconds before the ball fell off the rim.
I did not see that one at all.
Yeah, it was great.
Wow. We mentioned, obviously, Gonzaga and Indiana are playing today in the big-time top. We thought they were going to be playing on the winning side of the bracket, but instead they're on the losers side of the bracket. And Tommy Lloyd was asked what he thought of these upsets in the Bahamas.
There's no upsets right now. There's no upsets because it's so early in the year. I mean, I know there are upsets on paper and the media wants to make it because it's a great story. Listen, we're in the arena. So for us, there's no upsets. There's only respect for your opponents, and you're in a battle against another team trying to come out on top. And there's a lot of good teams out there right now. There's a lot of parity, and I bet you in another month, college basketball is going to look a lot different, and where teams are going to start getting a lot better.
I think the problem, guys, is quite simple. I think a lot of media cover college basketball like it was 20 years ago, right? So you're talking about a team, Kelvin, that brings back sophomores and juniors from a team that was on the cusp, maybe an Elite Eight run, They all come back. Then you got guys been playing together 3-4 years. Right. That's a team that is a top 5 team the next year. Almost every single top 10 preseason ranked team this year either has some kind of 5-star freshman never even seen at this level or has maybe 5 transfers. I mean, look at the Indiana roster, or the team that Arizona's playing today is just chock full of transfers from all over the place. So the rankings you're going to have ups and downs when you're incorporating a whole bunch of new guys. It doesn't even matter. I mean, Indiana won the NIL summer session, right? Not necessarily going to translate right away. It's going to take time for those guys. So, yeah, the upsets this time of year, a number next to your name doesn't mean what it did in the 90s, early 2000s.
And that's a check of what's happening around college basketball.
Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers.
Let's tell you what's coming up on hour number 2 of our program today.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Do things the right way.
Who is going to be that Oklahoma Sooner that's going to get underneath the Wildcats' skin today? It's your Pest of the Game, brought to you by University Pest Control. Straight ahead, our view from courtside. We'll talk to Ryan Hansen, the color analyst, longtime color analyst on Arizona basketball. He's got a lot of folks. He also runs... what's the name of the travel agency? Bon Voyage Travel.
That's why I said I was gonna say when you said a lot of people over there, I said you probably could thank Ryan.
Ryan put together a travel package to get all the alums down there for this tournament. So we'll talk to him about that as well as basketball. This game on the Desert Diamond Casino Big Board, Arizona, 5.5-point favorite over the Oklahoma Sooners today, who are not ranked, and the over-under on this one is 155. We'll also dive into your scouting report, learn a little bit more about Jeremiah Fears, the point guard, true freshman point guard, who scored 20 points last night in the win over Providence, and what the Wildcats can expect when they see him on the floor today. They actually did try to recruit him. He was Arizona was one of the teams on his list of schools that he was looking at before he decided on going to Illinois and then making the decision instead to go play at Oklahoma after he reclassified. He was actually supposed to be class of 25, but reclassified into the 2024 class, as J.W. Madden mentioned earlier. Keys to the game, starting lineups, all of that straight ahead. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona game day, Oklahoma, Arizona, the basketball version of the Alamo Bowl. Let's hope we get the same result. Along with Kelvin Ifan and JW Madden, I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio, 1290.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona basketball is getting you closer to tip-off. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Dave & Buster's Tucson, Dorado Rock, Goodfellas AC, Humane Society of Southern Arizona, Lexus of Tucson, Recon Auto Detail, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rocking KA Master Plan Community designed by nature, University Termite and Pest Control, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Go Wildcats! As the new season starts, the Tucson Police Department bears down with the Tucson community. We are looking to build our team, and we need you. Interested in joining our starting lineup? Visit jointucsonpd.org. Join our team and score a great career. From our commissioned officers to our professional staff, Tucson Police Department proudly stands behind the Arizona Wildcats. Bear down and apply today at jointucsonpd.org.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond. The round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead. Live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Donna Autumn Nation.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 five-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, a proud sponsor of Arizona Athletics since 1968. And this year, the Wildcats are driving into the Big 12. But we've been down this road before. From the WAC to the PAC, it's never been about the conference. It's always been about the Wildcats. And you can count on the Cats. And you can count on Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care for the very best deals on tires and award-winning auto care. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, we're here to get you there. Go Cats!
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Hi, this is Peter Costa, former governor of the New York Stock Exchange and proud member of the Advisory Business Council with Meridian Wealth Management. One thing I've learned over 40 years on the floor is the value of a trusting relationship with your financial advisor. After all, everyone is a genius when the markets are going up, but when they drop, that's when the guidance of a professional is most important. For more information about Meridian, call 719-1433 or visit online at meridianwealthllc.com.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think first chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic is pleased to announce that Access Health Plans now cover chiropractic care. A referral by your PCP is required. For more information, go to firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care. A proud U of A radio sponsor.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Ifan, and J.W. Madden.
Trivas pulls down the rebound for Arizona. Pass up to Caleb Love on the right side. Love drives right down the lane. He finishes and one for Caleb Love.
What a play from Caleb Love. Took it on the right side of the floor, crossed to his left hand, which is not usual for Caleb Love. He hung in the air, took the contact, swooping left hand lay-in, and the harm. The Cats have built their biggest lead.
Well, what was it that got Caleb Love going in that game last night? It certainly was not the water slide at the Atlantis Resort.
He's my roommate, and we both asleep while everybody else was out there on the water slides.
You guys didn't do the slide.
Nah,
You didn't.
no, we was asleep.
I failed you as a coach.
His roommate being Trey Townsend on the road. I guess they did not partake in the water slide there. It actually doesn't look as crazy as you might think. It is a 60-foot drop, but it's not as maybe I think I remember it being a lot more of a monstrosity than the time that I was there. But just looking at pictures of it now, it doesn't necessarily look that bad.
I think if you're a skinny,
I might be able to do it.
If you're a skinny freshman, it's okay. But if you're like a bulked out senior, Kelvin, you got a bunch of mass and you go over that drop, then gravity treats you different. If you're Trey Townsend and Caleb Love.
And I was in a position of leadership, my senior year, junior year, whatnot, and I wouldn't do it because if we lost, I didn't want to feel like that because we were joking around and messing around. It was the reason why we lost. We're here on a business trip, not here really to have fun. It's cool if coach let y'all do it, but me as a leader, I'm not going to choose to do it because I want y'all to understand that I'm here focused and on business.
That's got to be such a tough balance because you get to Anchorage, Alaska, and you're thinking, man, I might not ever get back up here again, but you're just there to play ball.
Iditarod? Is that what they were doing up there?
Well, I don't know.
We was in Hawaii, the same thing. We was in Hawaii, you got to take, because if you lose, I ain't gonna lie, like I'm gonna be angry. I'm gonna be upset about all the stuff y'all were doing.
Someone's building sandcastles out on the beach. You're like, you're supposed to be watching tape.
Yeah, I'm gonna be upset. I'm just like, let's party after we get the dub. After we get the dub, I like to party too, DK, but I like to get the job done first. That's why I always used to like coaches who gave you a little time after.
Maybe a day after.
Yeah, give me a day after, coach. We're gonna take care of this business, but give me a day because I seen a few people I want to see after the game.
Yeah,
but I got to take care of this business.
Yeah, let the managers do the partying. That's what I used to always say. We went to Hawaii for the Rainbow Classic, and we had a little bit too much fun there. We'll not talk about that anymore. Caleb Love on what did lead to his bounce back. Not the water slide, but what did lead to his bounce back.
Just not going out there worrying about anything, trusting in my teammates and, having my teammates and coaches trusting me. I just wanted to go out there and have fun. I said that in a press conference before the game, and that's exactly what I did, But, it wasn't about me. It was about my team. Deli broke through today. I was proud of him. He was my player of the game.
How about that? It's his player of the game. Mr. Deli Del Orso of course, scoring 21 points in that game last night. And Tommy Lloyd said that, he believes that Anthony Del Orso is not the only one off that bench that's poised for a breakthrough.
I can see and feel Henry coming. I can see Krivas coming. Tobe, he's so close, some of these foul issues he's having a little bit and, kind of figuring out some of our defensive stuff. But he also has a double-double in 13 minutes and there's more there. So that stuff excites me, and I'm excited. We just got to do a great job hanging together and understanding that when you're a team with a lot of talented players, it's going to be spread out a little bit, and guys are going to have different nights, and we gotta roll with that and embrace it.
Mo Krivas made his first start in the game against Duke, 5-4, and a career-high 5 assists, and then came back off the bench again last night against Davidson, but did score 10 points. And grabbed 4 rebounds, and he again. We if you weren't with us last night, we talked about the 4 big guys. When you talk about Krivas and Trey Townsend and Toby Awaka and Henry Vasar combined to go 20 of 30 from the floor, 67% in that game. You get a lot of nights like that, you're gonna win a lot of games.
And wasn't Vasar and Krivas 9 for 10?
Yeah, 9 for 10 or 8 for 9, I think.
8 for 9.
4 for 4 and 4 for 5.
When I look at that, J-Dub, and I know how Coach Lloyd looks at it. Okay, so now you get Tobe playing well in the starting lineup, and these two guys playing well off the bench, especially combined. You look at all those minutes together, and you like, I got something here. So yeah, I think it's going to be like J-Dub said. I think it's going to be matchup wise how they actually come out, but I'm interested to see how this works out for Tobe. Is he going to be able to play well when he comes off the bench? He has a history of that, but a lot of time that's why people transfer. They wanted a bigger role, they wanted to start or whatnot. So we'll see how this all plays out.
Doesn't matter who start, matter who finishes, right, Calvin?
Some guys do. I ain't gonna lie to you. Some guys it does. Some guys I ain't gonna lie. It mattered to me if I didn't think the guy was better than me. if you trying to start somebody because of I don't know whatever it is
politics. No, what I'm saying is for the benefit of the team, whoever's playing, there's a group of guys in that front line who can all get it done in different various ways. Everybody's going to have a good night and a bad night. Right. Some guys are going to be in there in the, quote-unquote fourth quarter. Other guys are going to be in a different game in that situation, in that stretch. So, yeah, just everybody contribute positively to the team.
And I agree with you, J-Dub. You know that because a lot of guys get caught up on starting and they'll play 13 minutes. And exactly what Tobey played, right? And so maybe I used to tell guys, I'll say, hey, look, I need to start this guy. He's a senior or he's whatever. You know, this way you talk to your players and you say, but you're going to play more minutes and you're going to be my Jason Terry. That's my closer, right? Jason Terry, barely started here, but played more minutes usually than the starters as the game went along.
So currently it's Umar Balo 6, Gonzaga 13. Umar has all 6 of the Indiana Hoosiers points right now.
All right, who's going to be that Oklahoma Sooner that gets underneath Arizona's skin in this game today?
Who is today's Pest of the Game? The Pest of the Game is brought to you by University Termite and Pest Control. Check them out at BePestFree.com.
All right, Kelvin, you go first on this one.
Okay, well, I'm going to go today with Jalen Moore.
Jalen Moore.
6'7", wing, forward type. They play like a 4-out. He plays in the corner looking for lobs. He'll shoot the 3 as well. I just think he's an athletic guy that we're going to have to figure out, how to match. I think Townsend is a good matchup for him, but we'll see how it plays out.
J-Dub.
Yeah, that's a good pick, Kelvin. I think it's between Fears and Elvis for me, but I'll go with Kobe Elvis for one reason is that he's already scouted this backcourt for Arizona. He's literally played against all 3 of these guys just last year when he suited up for the Dayton Flyers. Both those guys, he and Fears, are combo dudes. They lead the team in assists. But, obviously Kobe's feeling himself after having a pretty career-type game yesterday. Really dangerous off the bounce, really confident in his shot. And he's 23, guys. So 23-year-old guard who's feeling himself, Kelvin, that's trouble. You got to make sure that he doesn't get it going early.
I'm going to go with Bryson Gooden or Goodine. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that young man's name right.
Might be Goodine.
Goodine, possibly, yeah. He's on his 4th school, I think he was they were anticipating he was going to be a starter for this team, but he's dealt with some injuries during the preseason. Last year, he was 3rd in the nation in catch and shoot 3-pointers, bearing 49% of his 4-3 attempts per outing. So I'm going to go with Bryson Gooden. He's back from whatever the injury was. Played last year at Fairfield, has also played at Syracuse and at Providence. He's in grad school working on his master's degree. And like I said, he's a guy that is kind of, they anticipated maybe a bigger role for him, but it hasn't transpired yet due to the injuries. But he's back now. He played, I believe, yesterday was the first game he'd played in. Hit 2 3-pointers yesterday. He's could potentially find his footing as this thing gets going. And that's a guy that I'm going to go with. Bryson, we'll see if we can find the pronunciation guy on his name. But Bryson Goodine, we'll go with that for now.
That's today's Pest of the Game. The Pest of the Game is brought to you by University Termite and Pest Control. Visit BePestFree.com.
Goodine. Bryson Goodine is his name.
I like those guys, DK and J-Dub. I love the guys that stay at one. I stayed at Arizona all 5 years, so I got love for that as well. But I got love for guys that keep trying, man. That just keep trying. Won't take no for an answer, man. That just keep going lower level, higher level, just keep swinging at it, man. I mean, you got to love it because you really, truly got one chance at this.
Yeah, and you look at his stats. I mean, he played 8 minutes a game at Syracuse, 8 minutes a game at Providence, 5 minutes a game at Providence. Then he goes to Fairview, was it? Fairfield?
Fairfield.
Yeah, Fairfield. And then he gets his actual minutes, Kelvin, and now he's back at a higher D1 school.
All right, those are the guys that could get underneath Arizona's skin today. We're going to talk to Ryan Hansen. We'll get his thoughts on some of these guys on the Oklahoma side of the ledger, as well as a review of the win over Davidson. It's Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Kelvin Ifan is here, the captain, 1998, JW Madden. My name is David Kelly, and you are listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. In the top-rated Vail School District, Rockin' K is close to work, shopping, and services. Tour 18 model homes by top-tier builders, offering move-in ready homes and special incentives. LiveRockingK.com. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 dock fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or RoyalKia.com.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond. The round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead. Live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Thana Ardent Nation.
Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Always trust the big guy. Mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair at coolwillies.com. Cool Willie's is proud to be a partner of the University of Arizona Wildcats radio broadcast. Two powerful teams working hard for you to get the job done right every day. Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. coolwillies.com.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, a proud sponsor of Arizona Athletics since 1968. And this year, the Wildcats are driving into the Big 12. But we've been down this road before. From the WAC to the PAC, it's never been about the conference. It's always been about the Wildcats. And you can count on the Cats. And you can count on Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care for the very best deals on tires and award-winning auto care. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, we're here to get you there. Go Cats!
Driving the lane, dunking on the competition, and playing as a team. These are things we'll see this season watching our Wildcats play basketball. These happen to be the things you'll also find when you buy your next vehicle from O'Reilly Chevrolet. The only difference is at O'Reilly, nobody gets penalized for traveling. Heck, we actually encourage it. See us on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or find new roads at O'Reilly.com where you can experience our version of a steal. O'Reilly Chevrolet, more than a great price.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 five-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE Eagle.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the Captain Kelvin Ifan, and J.W. Madden. It's time now to take you down the front row of the arena. A view from courtside is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, celebrating 25 years serving Southern Arizona.
And for that, we head back down to Paradise Island, the Imperial Arena. We'll chat with Arizona Wildcats radio analyst Ryan Hansen. Ryan, we hear you brought a whole bunch of friends with you down to the Bahamas. Pretty good crowd of Wildcats that you helped get down for this weekend in Paradise.
Yeah, you bet. We had a number of folks on the team charter on Sunday. Others got here by way of commercial air, but Bon Voyage Travel loved bringing Arizona fans. You know we travel well, and it was a Wildcat house here last night and hope to be the same this evening as they take on the Sooners.
You know, you look at that game last night, man. It was great to see kind of Anthony Delorso bounce back because he really struggled playing just 4 minutes in that Duke game. Got his pocket pick there that kind of led to a little bit of a Duke run, and just maybe it was like you had mentioned, was in a little bit over his head in that game, but didn't put his head down. Got right back to it in a game where maybe he can get some confidence going, and he did absolutely that.
Yeah, unlike Arizona's international perimeter players under Tommy previously that were freshmen, right, had yet to experience high-level basketball, Anthony Delorso's mature. This is his third year of college basketball, having played at Campbell the last 2 years, and I did feel he was in over his head. You saw it. We saw it. He couldn't play against Duke. It overwhelmed him last Friday, but the maturity stepped up, bounced back, and it was really neat to see how confident he was and decisive with the basketball. He was a huge difference maker for Arizona. You'll hear from him later in the pregame show after you guys finish up. I interviewed Anthony and got a chance to talk to him about where that maturity comes from, so you'll hear from him directly. But what a breakout performance for him last night.
Yeah, one of the things we talked about was the threes were great, but it was the confidence he showed on that first two coming off the screen, just no hesitation to knock that down, that might have really put him in the right mindset to start that game.
Yeah, I'm a huge advocate for shooters to get something easy early, right? You want to see Caleb Love get a layup. You want to see Anthony Delorso take an easy two off of two dribbles and a pull-up. Get to the free throw line, see the ball go through the net, and build confidence with high percentage looks. That built then his ability to knock down 5 trays. I mean, he's leading Arizona this year on the season in most three-pointers made. He's leading them by percentage. Granted, the bar was low after the Wisconsin and Duke game in regards to the percentages at, 21.7% from the three-point line in those two games. So, but nice to see Anthony really get going, and hopefully will continue that today.
Rhino, you said you would like to see Caleb and Delorso, see something easy go in. But can you really see if you're on the baseline and you've got cheerleaders in front of you?
Okay, so no cheerleaders in front of us. They did have them on the opposite side, but the basket stanchion was the challenge. We could not see the corner, and poor Brody, his first call, by the way, Brody did an amazing job last night. It was fun to be partnered with him. There was a couple times where shots were taken in the corner, and he says, shot goes up, and it wasn't because he was bad. You couldn't see. The basket stanchion was blocking our view, but nonetheless, it was a fun game to call with Brody Dryden last night.
We're chatting with Ryan Hansen, Arizona Wildcats radio analyst. It is your View from Courtside, brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, serving Arizona for more than 25 years. Kelvin, go ahead.
Ryan, Rhino, what's up with you, brother?
What's up, man? My roomie. Roomie.
Yes, sir. Hey, I was going to say this, man. You know, Tobey starting the games, man. I really think that him being aggressive and physical and wearing down the other team's bigs, getting them in foul trouble even, kind of helps out Krivas. Not that Krivas needs help, but kind of helps those guys out when you're looking at the bigger scope of the team play. Kind of help those guys out when they come in because it weakened those guys up a little bit. What do you think about that?
Well, you and I both know that it doesn't matter who starts the game. Players want to play. It matters, matchups and momentum and how you get going. And I couldn't agree. When you look at what Tobey provides, that physicality, the toughness, he really brought his hard hat. I talked about it a couple of times. It's like a grown man going to the construction site, tail in hand, when Tobey Awaka steps on the floor. 14 minutes of gameplay, and he pours in a double-double. And, by the way, 4 fouls. He got all of his money's worth. I mean, he was eating at the buffet, and he went back for seconds last night. But I agree, K-Rock. He sets the tone physically for Arizona, and I think tonight I would expect to see Tobey in the starting lineup again. At least that's what it looked like at shoot-around this afternoon. That tone set by Tobey really helps the rest of the players recognize we got to be physical. And Oklahoma is another game where Arizona's physicality could kind of set the tone and be the marker for the game.
Well, I hate that we have you on the air right now, Ryan, because you're missing a show from Umar Ballo. I mean, he's diving on the ground out there, dominating for Indiana. Did you get a chance to talk to him at all, kind of get a thought for his feel and this new situation for him?
I didn't get a chance to talk too much. We caught him in the lobby as the team was headed to practice on Tuesday, and it was hugs all around, as you can imagine, for the majority of Arizona's team and staff. Obviously, for sure, knows Umar exceptionally well, and it looked odd though to see him in Indiana crimson and cream. I've seen him on TV before, but in person to see him in crimson and cream and not the navy and blue, the navy and red for Arizona. He looked comfortable with his teammates, and boy, he looks really good today. And hope he does well.
Well, we're talking about the bigs, and obviously, what an offensive night for those guys between Trey and Tobe and Mateus and Henry. 20 of 30 from the field, 67%. You'll win a lot of games if you can get that type of production inside.
Yeah, Arizona got back to the Tommy Lloyd formula, right? Inside out. The high-low pass was there. The perimeter players were looking for their post teammates. Arizona has to post up. They've got advantages, especially against Davidson. I think there's an advantage tonight against Oklahoma in the low block. Trey Townsend could be guarded by smaller 4-man, 6-7 guys that he could play bully ball like he did last night against Davidson. It was great to see the 30 field goal attempts. If you just go back 1 week ago against Duke, and I know it's different, size, length, athleticism for Duke, credit to them on the inside, but Arizona had 9 total field goal attempts from the 4 bigs last Friday night, 30 last night. Big difference, but it wasn't just Duke's defense. It was Arizona offensively looking inside and throwing the ball inside. They have to do that tonight again, and really all season. They need to take advantage of the 4 bigs.
I had said before, one of the things that was, not necessarily concerning is that it seems like Jaden Bradley was really looking to score. And I think, of course, you want to be aggressive, getting in the paint and scoring, but we have to have a guy out there assisting the ball. KJ Lewis as well. When we got down a little bit and Caleb wasn't playing well, those two guys got ultra aggressive. And I think that takes away from what our bigs are able to do, because I think those two guys are two of the better passers at getting the bigs the ball. And when they're not looking for that, it kind of takes those big guys out of the game, I feel.
Yeah, and K-Rock, you know this as a distributing guard. Oh, wait, you were a scorer too. But as a distributing guard, you need your teammates to make shots. Yeah. And in the Wisconsin and Duke game, we didn't make shots, so the assist numbers dropped. And that's a simple explanation of maybe why Jaden's assist numbers aren't where they are. Be more present should need him to need that.
Hey Ryan, we seem to be losing you just a little bit down there in the Bahamas. We'll wait maybe for you to. I don't know if you're moving at all but
still, can you?
Yeah, no, we've lost you, Ryan. But we want to appreciate the opportunity to talk to Ryan Hansen. As always, our view from courtside today brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, serving Arizona for more than 25 years. Arizona and Oklahoma getting set. Go ahead, J-Dub.
We hope you enjoyed your view from courtside. It was brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, celebrating 25 years serving Southern Arizona.
Just got out of reach of one of those palm tree cell phone towers.
I didn't get to ask him if he went down the water slide, so we'll have to see. Maybe we'll chat with him on the other side of the
day
tournament.
In paradise.
Yeah, when he gets back there. Because, again, I know, babe, if Brody was brave enough to go on that thing, and that I'm sure maybe Ryan might have been brave enough to try that.
Brody's story was great. For listeners who didn't catch that, you can hear that interview on our website. But he said he got up to the top of the line, and there were 4 or 5 14-year-olds who all chickened out right in front of him.
Yeah, the kids decided, nope, we're not doing this. But you could go ahead, Mr. Man, and go down there and try that. All right, your Goldberg and Osborne, the Injury Lawyers scoreboard, game number 2 down at the Battle for Atlantis is happening right now. And Gonzaga, the number 3 seed, is leading Indiana, the number 14 seed, by a score of 25-21. Umar Ballo already 8 points in this ball game for the Indiana Hoosiers. And like I said, he's been doing a little bit of everything. Diving on the floor has Umar 3 of 3 from the floor, 2 of 3 from the line, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, and 1 block shot. Umar doing Umar things. Good to see him though. It's like Ryan said though. It's tough to see him wearing that uniform, but good to see that he's still excelling at a high level.
Yeah, it is. He got his 1,000 points here. He was a part of a lot of victories. Had a lot to do with a lot of victories here. As a coach, and as I'm sure as Coach said, and me as a fan, I'm happy for him that he was able to continue his basketball career. That's what to me, that's what coaching is about: giving guys opportunities to move on to the next level, whatever level that is.
520-848-1290. If you got anything you'd like to say and get in on the conversation today about your Arizona basketball team.
By the way, Ben Gregg is the answer to the trivia question.
Ben Gregg.
Ben Gregg is the only member of the Gonzaga Bulldogs roster who was there when Umar Ballo was on campus. One player still left over.
So it's not really a reunion other than
the coaching staff. The fans obviously love him. I was watching his first bucket was an and one, and he put his hands up like this and just looked at the crowd. I mean, he was really – it was both the Indiana Hoosiers and the Bulldogs fans who were rooting for him. You know that.
I was thinking, I wonder which game would have been more emotional, the Gonzaga game or the Arizona game.
Oh, by far Arizona. By far. I mean, he made his name here.
But you know what I was thinking, though? I hear what you're saying, but I was thinking, though, maybe this is my chance to show the Gonzaga people personally what y'all lost.
Right.
What y'all didn't get a chance to see. So I don't know. I was questioning that because he seemed to be having a good time.
Flexing.
Seemed to be having a good time.
Doing his double-barreled flex, as we came to know from Umar Ballo, now up to 10 points. He just got an and one in the ball game, wearing that number 11 that we came to see so fashionably.
The thing is that going back to the 2021-22 season, fellas, Drew Timme was a senior All-American, and Chet freaking Holmgren was a freshman, the number 1 ranked high school player, center at 7'4". So Umar saw the writing on the wall, Kelvin. I mean, the reason why he left Spokane is because of the guys. Drew Timme was already established in that role, and Chet Holmgren was coming. So.
All right, we've got one more hour with you, getting you set for Arizona and Oklahoma, the Battle for Atlantis semifinal, the second semifinal. Winner gets Louisville in the championship game. Just so everybody is aware of the schedule for tomorrow. So the Wildcats win. They're in the championship game. That'll be a 3:30 tip-off Tucson time. So our coverage would begin at noon tomorrow if Arizona wins. And obviously if Arizona loses, they're in the third place game. And that would be a little bit earlier in the day with coverage beginning on that one. That'll be a 1 o'clock game, our time. So we would be on the air a little bit earlier, around 9:30 in the morning for you tomorrow if Arizona does not win against Oklahoma today. And if you weren't with us at the top of the show, they have never beaten Oklahoma on a neutral floor, but those 3 losses were in the NCAA tournament. So they've never played them on a neutral floor during this particular time of the season. Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day rolls on. Along with Kelvin Ifan and JW Madden, I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our Winzo Debo coverage of Arizona basketball is getting you closer to tip-off. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 2 of the pregame show is brought to you by Dave & Buster's Tucson, Dorado Rock, Goodfellas AC, Humane Society of Southern Arizona, Lexus of Tucson, Recon Auto Detail, Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Rocking KA Master Plan Community designed by nature, University Termite and Pest Control, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Are you facing plumbing problems and need a reliable solution? Whether it's a leaky faucet, a clogged drain, or an upgrade to a tankless water heater, Rightway has you covered. And for a limited time only, we're offering 10% off your next repair or installation. Don't let plumbing issues ruin your day. Call Rightway at 276-2775. We'll get a plumber to your door. If it's worth doing, do it the right way. Are you facing plumbing problems and need a reliable solution? Whether it's a leaky faucet, a clogged drain, or an upgrade to a tankless water heater, Right Way has you covered. And for a limited time only, we're offering 10% off your next repair or installation. Don't let plumbing issues ruin your day. Call Right Way at 520-276-2775. We'll get a plumber to your door. If it's worth doing, do it the right way.
The Window Depot has everything you need to create the kitchen or bathroom of your dreams. Browse the aisles of in-stock cabinets available in a variety of sizes and configurations and instantly elevate your space today. Visit a showroom and let our experts guide you. Whether you're choosing from ready-to-go designs or creating a custom masterpiece, we can help you select the perfect wood type, color, and style, and top it off with unique hardware to complete your look. Find a location near you at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot. More than a window store.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Back to Eugene Snarkle, rising UberTube star, and his best friend, Doug.
Eugene, you've been working on my car's brakes for 3 days now. Is there a problem? And what's with all the orange stuff on your t-shirt?
Research, Doug.
The orange stuff is research?
No, I'm doing research for my next UberTube video on fixing brakes. I need the Chizo snack food to power my 72-hour video binges. It gets a little messy, but I'm willing to make the sacrifice.
It looks like the only sacrifice is my car, and maybe that white t-shirt covered in Chizo dust.
So, can you hand me that metal thingy?
You mean this wrench?
Well, if that's what you want to call it.
Eugene, I need my keys. I'm heading to Jack Furrier's.
Great choice, Doug. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the right choice for quality brake service and complete automotive care. You can stop in, call ahead, or make an appointment online at jackfurriers.com. Our 14 area locations are ready to help with fast, friendly service and great prices. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Krivas turnaround, gets it off, and it rolls in for two. Oh my! KJ Lewis slams it home. Stolen away by Bradley. Caleb on a breakaway windmill jam.
Arizona basketball never sleeps.
Bear down, Cats. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. The Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We're getting closer to tip-off for today's Arizona basketball game. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
One bounce handed to Del Orso. Works it down to the left wing. Bounce pass is stolen away by Proctor on a breakaway to the bucket. He'll slam it home.
It's a big-time game for Del Orso. He's got to be ready.
Arizona, Oklahoma coming up for you tonight. Anthony Del Orso got his pocket picked in that game against Duke. That was not what he had in store, but what a bounce back against the Davidson Wildcats.
8 seconds to go. It's Jaden Bradley on the left side. Over to Del Orso for three. That's good. Alexis of Tucson, charity three from Anthony Del Orso. As the buzzer sounds, Davidson's full court heave is no good. Arizona is going to go into the break up 49-37.
5 3-point shots made, 5 of 7 for Anthony Del Orso. Bounce back performance, 21 points for the youngster. His obviously season high or Wildcat high for him. And it was a game that for Anthony, he feels like he showed the tough kind of player that he can be for this team.
Yeah, I think that's what you have to have. I think there's a spark that every person has to have that, you got to basically draw a line in the sand and say, I'm not going back. You have to either deal with it or I'm coming at you.
I don't think a soft Australian exists.
I like that, though.
I don't know a lot of Australians, so I don't know if I can really answer that.
I mean, everything there is trying to kill you, so you kind of got to,
Yeah, it sounds like somebody's father told him, make it figured out.
Figure it
out. Do what you need. Yeah, no, man, that was pretty cool to hear, man. And more importantly, not even cool to hear, cool to see him bounce back like that. Because regardless of the level, I think he was comfortable because he was playing against Davidson, but regardless of the level, he's put that ball in the basket, and he can do that versus anybody that he plays against. Nothing was physical. It all was in rhythm. It was all in the right spots. Nobody should have him have any problems with him taking those shots, any of those shots that he's taken at any time, because they're definitely in his wheelhouse.
Well, I forgot one guy, Ben Simmons. He's kind of afraid of layups, so he doesn't apply. He's the exception.
Don't look now, but Anthony Del Orso leads the team in 3-point shots. 3-point shots made with the 5 that he made last night. He now has 10, and that's the most on the Wildcat Ball Club. The question, though, will also be, can he defend at a high level? That's another thing that teams have kind of been attacking him, especially out there on the perimeter. He's given up some drives to the basket. Tommy Lloyd talked about Anthony Del Orso, the defensive player.
Listen, at this level, you got to have some defensive swag. I mean, you're going to be playing in high-level games every single night, every night. And the other team's going to have really good players. And, you can't no weak links, you got to do it. And he knows that, and he's on it. And, there's a little bit of a learning curve there as well. So I definitely think he's capable of doing it. And I think we'll see improvements, soon.
So, K-Rock, if you're an offensive player and you got a choice to attack KJ Lewis, Jaden Bradley, Caleb Love, or Anthony Del Orso, who are you picking?
Orso in trouble.
Right. That's the thing. So it's like when you get a lot of switching going on out there, a lot of defensive switches these days, Del Orso is the guy. It doesn't necessarily mean bad. It's just relative, right? So he's going to get attacked every time he gets out there, especially on high ball screens.
Let's hear from Anthony Del Orso again, who talks about the reason that he chose to come to play here at Arizona and a feeling like this is the type of place and the type of program that can help him get to the next level.
My goal is the NBA. That's what I've always dreamed of. I just saw it as a place like, why would I can come here and I know I can get better, and I have the pieces around me that can help me get better. They can give me everything I need in order to get to that goal. So it doesn't really matter if I'm starting or if I'm coming off the bench playing 30 minutes. Either way, I'm playing 30 minutes. So it's like, if this is the best place that's going to develop me the best, well, that's where I want to go.
Well, I don't know if he's going to get to 30 minutes per se. I mean, maybe if he could, I think for him, you'd like to see him be able to play a solid 20 at some point coming off the bench, 15 to 20, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, 16 to 18 is what I'm thinking, for the season.
Yeah, because I feel like he's the backup for all three of those guys, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they're going to play like 30 minutes apiece, so there may be 30 minutes there at each one of those spots, but I'm starting to think that there's a role for Conrad. I'm starting to think, I mean, we see him a little bit there, but I'm starting to think we really need to get a backup point guard. And I don't know if Del Orso is that guy. I think he's more wired to score, right? I think some of his mistakes were happening when he was trying to distribute and bounce the ball too much. So I think there's going to be some type of role there for Conrad as well.
All right, let's let you know what we've got coming up for you, the final hour of this program.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show. Brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Do things the right way.
3 segments to go, and we've got our best bets coming up here in a moment. How does this game look on the big board at the Desert Diamond Casino Sportsbook? Well, U of A is a 5.5-point favorite over Oklahoma today. The over-under at 155. Arizona covered handsomely the 15-point line that they had last night. Everybody took the under at 154.5 last night, and it went dramatically over that at 175. So we'll see if the scoring is on point again today to bust past that particular line. We'll give you your opponent's scouting report. We'll talk a bit about Jeremiah Fears, the true point guard that the Wildcats are going to see today on the other side for the Oklahoma Sooners out of Joliet, Illinois, and did some prepping over at Arizona Compass Prep up in the Phoenix area. We'll give you our keys to the game, what the Wildcats have to do to beat the Oklahoma Sooners today, as well as let you know what's coming up with your starting lineup. In fact, right now, let's see if we can cash some tickets on this game today.
Tucson, what are some of today's best bets? Will the Cats beat the spread? It's time to look at some of today's best bets. Brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, best bets. Arizona is, again, a 5.5-point favorite off this. I am 6-4 through 5 games. Kelvin and J-Dub sitting at 4-6 through 5 games. I will go first since I am leading today. And 5.5. I think this is going to be a close game, guys. I really do. Something tells me this is going to not be a game that the Wildcats are just going to blow through. I could see this being a 2 or 3 point game today. So I'm going to have to take Oklahoma and the points on that. Kelvin, how about you?
I think I'm gonna go the Cats by 6. I think they should be able to win by at least 6 to 7 points in this game right here. So I'm gonna go Arizona plus with the 6.
Okay, so you will take Arizona minus 5.5.
Yeah. I think they cover that.
Yeah, I do like this Oklahoma team a lot. I do also think that Arizona will impose their physical will. Yeah. I think that's the thing is that across the board, they're much bigger and they can contend with the 3-guard lineup because they got some really good guard defenders. I agree with both of you. I mean, I could see it go either way, but I think I'll say just above that. So again, like Kelvin said, you said 6. I think 6 or 7 is probably what Arizona wins by. So I'll take Arizona on the points.
All right, over under 155.5 on this game today. We'll go in reverse order with J-Dub.
155.
155.5.
I'll go over. I think there's going to be quite a lot of threes from that side. And so, that gym's been seeming like it's been treating shooters pretty good during this tournament. So I think it's going to go, over. I'd think about 80-80 is what's going to be.
Calvin Ifan, over or under?
I would say over. That's where Arizona been trending. And also, this team averages 80, even if they score 70. I could see, So yeah.
I'm gonna go over on this one as well at 155. So it's J-Dub and me taking Arizona, laying the 5.5 and the over. I'm sorry, Kelvin and J-Dub taking U of A, laying the 5.5 and the over. DK taking Oklahoma and the 5.5 and the over. We'll see how who's cashing tickets at the end of the game.
Those are today's best bets. They are brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, before we get to this break, a big volleyball game happening tomorrow for the Arizona women over in Lubbock, Texas against Texas Tech. The Wildcats won yesterday at home in their home finale over Central Florida, 3-1. They have won 6 games in a row, 6 matches in a row. And so they have a chance to end the season with a 7-match win streak. If they can go down to Lubbock and get this victory tomorrow. I wanted you to hear a little bit from the head coach, Charita Stubbs. We had a chance to catch up with her this week. This is the second week in a row they've had to play this new split format where they play one of their games at home and one of their games on the road. Last week, they played the first game at Colorado, came home and played against Iowa State. This week, they played the first game at home against Central Florida, and now they'll go to Texas Tech. I asked head coach Rita Stubbs about how she feels about this split format.
It is what it is. Would I say, ooh, let me sign up for this? No, I wouldn't, just because you don't get the quality training time in between or preparation in terms of it being in the gym. But I'm not going to complain because it's not going to change.
What did I guess when you were in meetings? What did they say about the way that was going to have to work?
Well, none of it looks the way that they initially said to us it was going to look. And so one was we would be a Thursday, Saturday conference is what it was. And so if you were on the road, then you weren't expected to fly far if you had to go far. But I think once they actually put it on paper, it didn't work out the way that they thought it was going to work, hence us changing next year as well.
And another part of that, it seems like, they did some geographical clumping, but that kind of works against you guys when most of the top teams are in your region. So, I mean, what is the bigger concern, competitive balance or ease of travel?
Well, I say competitive playing. The competition is more important. My goal is, and I wanted to play everyone in the conference twice. And I think that when you talk about the ease of traveling, I think that's something that with donors and support and things like that, that you'll be able to accommodate that eventually.
What have you liked just about the way this team has been able to accomplish these 3 victories on the road in this 5-game stretch?
The fact that we're able to talk about anything and we're able to address it without feelings being hurt. I think that's how you get better, because you have to put yourself in a position to be uncomfortable. And the more that I'm able to push them to be uncomfortable and they respond, that's a good thing.
Were their feelings getting hurt early in the season?
Well, no one's ever going to say their feelings are hurt, but you can tell by their body language or the things they say under their breath, or, you just kind of look. So they're obvious. There's no secrets.
With the RPI where it is in the low 40s, do you have a good feeling about that? Where does it need to be for you guys to get in? I don't know that I'll feel comfortable until Sunday when I see our name called out. And what I keep telling the players is just work hard. We have to win to put ourselves in a position to continue to be in the conversation. And so that's our only focus, is one match at a time. As much as I want to foreshadow and kind of go, we're not that team. And if you talk about what's historically happened, you have a winning record, you have the right RPI, and have some significant wins. It puts you in a position. So all we can do is continue to go with that mindset. What would you say is the biggest thing that's put you in this position to at least have a chance?
I say our preseason, the fact that we went undefeated. Dave's formula always was to go at least 10-2. And then you go in there and you get some wins within your conference. I think the win over BYU here and the win over Kansas definitely was a significant win that is necessary. You needed those wins.
Is there one that you wish, I guess I said on the air yesterday, I thought Colorado might be the game you wish you could have back, the one here?
Well, I did tell the players I hope that match didn't come back and haunt us later. And when I said that, that's what I meant.
All right, that is the head coach of your Arizona volleyball team, Rita Stubbs. The ladies will go to Texas Tech tomorrow for their finale. That is a noon start on that game. Texas Tech is 6-11 in conference play, so they are 2 games behind Arizona. Arizona currently tied with Kansas State. They are in 7th place of the 16. Actually, I think it's 15 teams because only 15 of the teams play volleyball. They're in, but again, they have a chance to finish this season at 500 in conference play. If they get the win tomorrow, 9-9 with 20 wins, 7-game win streak to end things. And with quality home wins over Kansas, who is second in this conference, and BYU, who is right above them in the conference as well in 6th place. So is that enough to get in? Will remain to be seen. Their RPI this week was 44, maybe a little bit lower than you would like, and they're not going to get any help by beating Texas Tech, because Texas Tech's RPI is 121. So they are squarely on the bubble. You got to win this game on Friday and then put it in the hands of the committee and let them decide if Arizona is worthy to be a participant in the NCAA volleyball tournament. That will happen. The selection will happen on Sunday, as you heard there from the head coach. It is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Much more in store for you. We'll have our keys to the game and a whole lot more. Our scouting report. Learn a little bit more about the Sooners straight ahead, along with Kelvin Ifan and J.W. Madden. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona basketball continues. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 3 of the pregame show is brought to you by Broadway in Tucson, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, Drain Medics, First Choice Pools, Goldberg and Osborne the Injury Lawyers, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Showtime Sports Cards, Tucson Police Department, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
Hi, this is Tim Couch, retired NFL quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, partner at Meridian Wealth Management, and proud member of Meridian's Tucson Advisory Business Council. It's my favorite time of year, college football season. I've always been a proud Wildcat. As our firm has grown in Tucson with Ruben and Natalie Fernandez, I now cheer on 2 Wildcats every year. My alma mater of Kentucky, of course, and our U of A Cats. Here's to a great football season, and go Cats.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond. The round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead. Live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Donna Autumn Nation.
2025 is bringing the biggest change to air conditioning in decades. New EPA regulations mean AC costs could rise by up to 25%. If you've been thinking about replacing your old AC, now's the time. Rightway is offering zero interest financing and a free furnace when you replace your AC this month. Don't wait till next year when prices go up. Call Rightway today for your free no obligation estimate. Call 520-549-2697.
JT Auto, where customers are family. Trust your vehicle to JT Auto professional and reliable automotive repair and maintenance services. JT Auto is conveniently located off Fort Lowell and Country Club. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guaranteed, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where customers are family. 623-7066. That's 623-7066.
Go Wildcats! As a new season starts, the Tucson Police Department bears down with the Tucson community. We are looking to build our team, and we need you. Interested in joining our starting lineup? Visit jointucsonpd.org. Join our team and score a great career. From our commissioned officers to our professional staff, the Tucson Police Department proudly stands behind the Arizona Wildcats. Bear down and apply today at jointucsonpd.org.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic is pleased to announce that Access Health Plans now cover chiropractic care. A referral by your PCP is required. For more information, go to firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care. A proud U of A radio sponsor.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the captain Kelvin Ifan, and J.W. Madden. Time now for our look at today's Wildcat opponent. The scouting report is brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto. Jack Furrier since 1960. We're here to get you there.
The Oklahoma Sooners are the opponent for the Arizona Wildcats today, and they enter this game as a team that has not lost yet on the season under Porter Mosier. The 5-0 Oklahoma Sooners wins over Linwood, Northwestern State, Stetson, East Texas A&M, and Providence. So not a tough schedule to begin the season for the Sooners, to say the least, but they have gone through those games and won them on. We talked a little bit about the game yesterday and their win over Providence, 79-77, and they were really led by their guards in that game. You had an outstanding performance from Kobe Elvis in the contest, also Jeremiah Fears, the freshman point guard, finished with 20 points. He was 12 of 14 from the free throw line in that game. He had 7 assists. Now, he did turn it over 8 times in the ball game, but 14 free throws from a freshman point guard. Porter Moser says he, in fact, is a free throw waiting to happen.
He drew 10 fouls because of speed. So that's an undervalued stat when I look at it. Like, it's not undervalued by us. He's got to continue learning. He was going to that spin move, and they were calling the travel. So you got to play off 2 feet. All a learning process. Man, he had a dynamic steal finish. He turned the corner and finished. A lot of good things. We just continue to get that turnover number down. But super aggressive, drew fouls, got to the foul line. A lot of positives.
Kelvin, I talk about, wanting my point guards to get to the line 14 times, and they've got a freshman who's only in his 5th game who's able to do that.
Yeah, I think he has at least 10 more free throws than the next guy. Aggressive, man, getting downhill, but it's the style of play that they have. They play basically a 4-out, 1 in, and the big guy comes out and set a screen on the perimeter and gives him a chance to get to the basket, and he takes it. He goes right hand. And a part of my game plan or my key to victory is make sure that we force him to go left. We can't allow him to get to his right hand, because when he gets to his right hand, he puts fouls on guys.
Jeremiah Fears, I mentioned, was initially scheduled to go play at Illinois, but and this was coming out of Compass, Arizona Compass Prep, one of the prep schools up in the Valley. But that did not quite work out, and so he ended up late after playing with the FIBA U20 team. You actually might have been the U18 team that Tommy Lloyd coached this summer. In fact, decommitted in July of this. I wonder. I mean, we don't know. I didn't see anything to this nature, but you wonder if Colin Boswell's appearance had anything to do with that.
If it was around that time, I bet it did. I mean, when he heard that they were looking for, an older point guard, he knew that probably would affect his time. So, he took his talents elsewhere.
Yeah, he is the younger brother of Jeremy Fears, who was one of the top guards in Michigan State's class. I believe we saw him last year in that game that the Wildcats played against the Spartans over in Palm Springs.
It was April 15th, by the way.
That
Kylan Boswell chose Illinois.
Yeah. And so July, when he made his decision to jump out of there. And again, was not supposed to be in this class, but I wonder if the fact that he reclassified also played into the fact that maybe wanting to play right away, and they
Yeah, there it is. PT, Kelvin. PT.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what happens is, and I wonder, did he reclassify to his original class? Because what a lot of guys do, they reclassify when
Down,
they're younger.
right.
They go up.
Yeah.
Right, so he's a 2025 guy, but then if they end up getting recruiting and they get an offer early that they feel like is a good one, then they'll go back to their regular class. So I wonder which, because he looked a little more mature than 17. I don't think he's 17. I don't think he's 16 like Boswell was. I think he's a little older than that.
He's got we mentioned the 8 turnovers in that game yesterday, last night in the win over Providence. Porter Moser went on to say he's got to, you heard him say that, he's got to control that, but they want Jeremiah Fears to be Jeremiah Fears.
I think I don't want to not get his speed and transition aggressiveness into the game. Want to get it in the game, and but also being super solid. Be great at simple. You don't have to all of a sudden get on this stage and get to this competition and reinvent the wheel. His simple is of that speed is sometimes other people's greatness. Like he can really go fast and with the speed, and he's long and he gets that stride into the game. So just want him to be super solid, confident. Really want him to be confident going on this stage with this competition, and understand he's got some really good players. Like Jay Moore and Sam and Kobe and Duke. He's got a lot of other great players around him.
Fears had double-digit offers. Again, he committed to the Illini, but he had offers from Kansas, Arizona, Michigan, Tennessee, Michigan State, Iowa, Providence. He took visits apparently to Tennessee and Providence before deciding initially on Illinois. I mentioned he had a really strong performance for the United States under-18 national team, which Coach Lloyd led to that AmeriCup gold medal over in Buenos Aires. He averaged 7 points, 3 steals, and 3 assists for that team. Tommy Lloyd came away completely impressed with this young man.
He's got a ton of swag. He's aggressive. He goes for it. He's a really talented player. I mean, I know at the end of those tryouts, kind of the USA stuff, he was right there, and he was a guy I wanted on the team, and then maybe the minutes, in that tournament get kind of tough when you can only play it's harder to play 12 guys. So but he's really talented, and I know he's playing great now and with a ton of confidence. So he's going to present a ton of challenges.
Well, and even like you said, maybe with not a high number of minutes, it just looks like based on the numbers that he took advantage of the time when he was out there for the United States, and a great opportunity for a young man like that to have coming out of high school.
Yeah, and I think what really even solidified him more than that is when he averaged 21 in the Peach Jam last year, and I think that right there just probably made the Oklahoma coach realize that he probably couldn't get a better guy, and he just pulled that trigger.
Yeah, Porter Moser talked about the experience that Jeremiah Fears had playing for Tommy Lloyd in the U20 U18 level.
Yeah, he had a great experience with Tommy. Great experience with USA basketball, playing against that level of competition, getting that level of experience. So yeah, it was a really good experience, and but in all honesty, it was just like talking conversation about it because the recruiting happened so fast. He reclassified, and then it was full speed ahead. And next thing you know, I was watching him in EYBL in one day and trying to talk to him about our shell defense the next. So it was a very, very quick process.
Yeah, that's exactly what I say. See that EYBL? That's the Peach Jam. That's the Peach Jam is the last game of the EYBL, which is the youth basketball, Nike youth basketball thing that a lot of the big time players play in now.
Well, and they've got another freshman guard who has been injured. We mentioned Bryson Godine has been dealing with an ankle injury, but they've got another young man by the name of Jaden Jones who also has not played this season. He's a transfer, though, transfer from Long Beach State. So I believe we probably would have seen him last year as well in the NCAA tournament. He averaged 12 points last year for that Long Beach State team. He has not played at all yet this year due to a back situation. And Porter Moser has talked about having to play without those 2 transfer veterans that he thought he was going to have to maybe bring along a Jeremiah Fears.
that we've got guys that can shoot the ball. We got multiple guys that can shoot the ball. And, I think we've had a handful of different games with multiple guys making 2, 3, 4 threes. So when you get that many, obviously those two guys are elite shooters. And when you're down with those shooters, it's really a great weapon to know that a lot of other guys got a lot of shots, can knock down the open shot. And that's been a huge takeaway. A guy like Glenn, Glenn stepped up last game, hit 4 of them. Duke's had a game with 4. Kobe's had a game with 4. Jalen's been super consistent. Kobe has been knocking it down. So other guys can knock down shots. And obviously we miss Bryson and Jadon. But we're confident in all our guys.
Yeah, Jadon Jones had 10 points, 3 steals, and 4 rebounds in that game versus Arizona last year in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, they've got 6 guys that have made 5 or more threes this season. Arizona has 4 guys who have made 5 or more three-point shots in a game this season. So
4 guards.
There you go.
Kelvin, how many guards do you want to see on the court? 6?
6-guard lineup.
If I don't have bigs that are good, for sure.
How would you attack a 6-guard line? Just would it be as easy as just feeding the post? Or if they threw 6 guards out there?
Well, if they got 6 guards on their side and I got Shaq on my side, I think I win.
Yeah, we in trouble. We're in trouble. But I tell you what, we're going to be shooting the lights out that ball and pressing the heck out of you.
Glenn Taylor Jr., Bryson Godine, Duke Miles, Kobe Elvis, Jalen Moore, and Jalen Moore are the 5 guys who have made 5 or more threes this season. Jeremiah Fears is right on the edge of that. He struggled a little bit shooting the 3 at 4:15, but like we talked about, he's been in the line 31 times, which Kelvin mentioned is 13 more times than anybody else on this roster. So that is a look at what you've got with the Oklahoma Sooners.
And that's the lowdown on the team U of A is about to face on the hardwood. The scouting report has been brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto. Jack Furrier since 1960. We're here to get you there. KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We have the Arizona Wildcats covered on game day like no one else. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day. The game ahead of ours today is at the half, so we've got about 25 more minutes with you. It's scheduled to start at 3. I couldn't tell you exactly. I would think at least another hour. The second half hasn't started yet. So I wouldn't think this game would even be over till maybe around 3:15.
It's always been half an hour, right, Kelvin?
Yeah.
I mean, it's always in these tournaments where you have multiple teams trying to get off and on the court. And you got four games in one day. It's always a half an hour. So you get an overtime game or whatever. The officials won't tip the next game until at least a half hour. I think last night it was about 35 minutes after the other game ended.
We're probably at least looking at later than a 3:30 start time now on this game. So if you're out and about and you're racing to try to get home for the 3 o'clock game, take your time. Things are moving slowly down in the Bahamas right now, so you're going to have plenty of time to finish up that turkey. Heck, you can even maybe get the hors d'oeuvres out and the early eats, the deviled eggs and all that kind of thing. And before you have to worry about your Arizona Wildcats being on the floor. 57-39 real quick. 57-39, Gonzaga is leading Indiana so far. That game is at the half.
Yeah, they really pushed that lead out. I was going to say, Rhino and Brody, I'm sure, have lots of stories about slides and surf lessons. They'll be able to fill whatever time they got to do for that pregame.
Well, tell Ryan he's got to tell if he did. He has to talk about whether because we didn't get a chance to ask him if he went on the slides. So let Brody know to ask him that question so we can find out. Ryan's like, I'm not going on that thing.
My roomie didn't do that.
He didn't do that. Not at all. All right. Much more still straight ahead. We'll give you our keys to the game, starting lineups, and all of that. It's Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day ahead of the Wildcats and the Sooners for the 8th time ever. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 five-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
2025 is bringing the biggest change to air conditioning in decades. New EPA regulations mean AC costs could rise by up to 25%. If you've been thinking about replacing your old AC, now's the time. Rightway is offering zero interest financing and a free furnace when you replace your AC this month. Don't wait till next year when prices go up. Call Rightway today for your free no obligation estimate. Call 520-549-2697.
Back to Eugene Snarkle, rising UberTube star, and his best friend, Doug.
Eugene, you've been working on my car's brakes for 3 days now. Is there a problem? And what's with all the orange stuff on your t-shirt?
Research, Doug.
The orange stuff is research?
No, I'm doing research for my next UberTube video on fixing brakes. I need the Chizo snack food to power my 72-hour video binges. It gets a little messy, but I'm willing to make the sacrifice.
It looks like the only sacrifice is my car, and maybe that white t-shirt covered in Chizo dust.
So, can you hand me that metal thingy?
You mean this wrench?
Well, if that's what you want to call it.
Eugene, I need my keys. I'm heading to Jack Furrier's.
Great choice, Doug. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the right choice for quality brake service and complete automotive care. You can stop in, call ahead, or make an appointment online at jackfurriers.com. Our 14 area locations are ready to help with fast, friendly service and great prices. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
The Window Depot has everything you need to create the kitchen or bathroom of your dreams. Browse the aisles of in-stock cabinets available in a variety of sizes and configurations and instantly elevate your space today. Visit a showroom and let our experts guide you. Whether you're choosing from ready-to-go designs or creating a custom masterpiece, we can help you select the perfect wood type, color, and style, and top it off with unique hardware to complete your look. Find a location near you at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. Visit Lennar's 2 communities in Rockin' K, with home savings up to $25,000 and limited time interest rate and closing cost incentives on select move-in ready homes. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A basketball continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Gameday pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the Captain Kelvin Ifan, and J.W. Madden.
Arizona and Oklahoma getting set down in the semifinals for the battle for Atlantis. Tip-off scheduled for 3 o'clock, but again, it's going to be later than that, folks. If you are just joining us, the first game of the day went to overtime. The second half just beginning on the game ahead of this one, so there's still a full 17 minutes of clock time plus left to go between Gonzaga and Indiana. So we would probably be trending for a 3:30 or less later tip time today. You guys want to take a walk down memory lane to the last time these two teams played the home and home, which came in my era here. 2009-10 and 2010-11. 2009-10, December the 6th at Oklahoma at the Lloyd Noble Center. The Sooners won that game 79-62. You'll remember this, I believe, would have been the second season, the second Sean Miller season. Did not get off to a great start as the Wildcats lost this game to fall to 3-4 on the year. They were led in scoring by one Nick Wise at point guard, who had 15 points that night on 6 of 14, hit 3 threes. Jamel Horn also hit 3 trays in that game to finish with 11 points for the Wildcats. The leading scorer that night for the Sooners was Willie Warren with 25. I don't remember Willie Warren. Anybody?
Yeah, I remember from Texas.
Yeah? Texas guy?
Houston boy.
Houston boy?
Yeah, jump out the gym.
Also on that team, obviously, Solomon Hill, Derek Williams, Brendan Lavender, DJ Shumpert, Kirill Nadyatsko, Alex Jacobson, Dondre Wise, Momo Jones, Garland Junkins. Wow, remember Garland Junkins? He had 7 points in 8 minutes in that game. And Kyle Fogg, 23 minutes off the bench. Next year, Oklahoma returned the visit on December the 5th of 2010 to McHale Center in front of 13,000 plus. The Wildcats returned the favor, winning by 23 in that game. That was the third Miller team, which started 7-1 that season. Leading scorer that night was Derek Williams with 16 points, followed by Solomon Hill at 10. So only 2 players. They scored 83 points, but only 2 guys were in double figures because they got a ton of points off the bench. Jesse Perry had 9 points that night. Kevin Parham had 8 points off the bench. Jordan Mays. Remember Jordan Mays?
Of course.
18 minutes, 9 points off the bench. That night, Wildcats made 11 threes in that game. Jordan Mays had 3 of those off the pine. Leading scorer that night for Oklahoma, another guy I don't really remember, Andrew Fitzgerald.
I don't think Kelvin and I want to think about Arizona's 2 leading scorers having 10 and 11 points. That era is over. We're not in that era anymore.
That was the last 2 meetings for these 2 programs against each other, a home and home back in 9-10 and 10-11. So they'll do it again tonight in the Bahamas for an opportunity to face Louisville. If you weren't with us earlier, Louisville won in overtime 79-70 over the West Virginia Mountaineers. Tommy Lloyd was asked this week what he felt his biggest question mark was about this team heading into the Bahamas.
Why the pieces aren't fitting together as well as I would like or as well as we're used to. And, you know, and it's nothing with those guys, but I'm definitely looking more at the bigger picture now than you know, just on individual performances. Because to me, this is a team game. And, you know, my thought, you know, what I kind of wrote down on my notes today was TTE, total team effort. And I don't think we got that. So, you know, I got to go back and really figure out, you know, what it's going to take to get a total team effort.
And I think when he says how the pieces fit together, guys, I think it really is. I mean, we know we've said all season, 3-guard play. 3-guard play is going to be on the floor. There's no question about that. I think the question is how these bigs fit together. I think that's what he's still trying to figure out, how that element of it is going to work with maybe an Anthony Del Orso and a Carter Bryant off the bench in the mix as well.
Yeah, I agree with that. You know, figuring out that guard rotation as well with how much do you play Carter Bryant there also, and depending on the situation of who you're playing. And if you're looking for scoring, more than likely you're going to go for Del Orso. You're looking for defense, you're going to go with Bryant. So I just feel like he has a lot of different things that he has to figure out. And the biggest thing is minutes. I mean, a lot of these guys, they come to play, they're competitive, they want to play. So as a coach, you got to figure out how to keep everybody happy and going toward the same goal.
And obviously, like, you know, more than anything, earning trust from the coaches goes the other way. So Coach there is talking about effort and team effort, guys, overall. If you're looking at guys like maybe Del Orso in that Duke game, 4 minutes, turnover, he got pulled. Kelvin, the coaching staff are also trying to maintain and increase the personal individual confidence that each players have in themselves. So there's a balancing out there because you want guys to ingratiate themselves, learn the system, learn what it takes to play Arizona brand of basketball, but also at the same time, you don't want a guy to go in there, go 0 for 10, 0 for 15 again, in his quote unquote big moment where all his family's watching and then keep that in his head for a while. So maintaining that, but they have enough pieces and enough guys, like you said, if one guy's on, maybe it's not your night. Maybe it is your night. And there's enough guys on that bench that they have enough pieces, enough versatility at different positions to be able to fill those roles game by game.
Carter Bryant at the offensive end, 5 of 16 from 3 so far this season. So he's taken about 5 threes per game. Is that about where you think he should be?
That seems like a lot to
Yeah.
me, but being that he's so athletic, and I haven't really seen him get any dunks. Being 6'8" and going against smaller guys, I haven't seen him crash that offensive board and do the putbacks yet. Now, is that what's expected from coach? I'm not sure. I mean, usually that is the things that you're looking for from your wing, but I just think that right now he's one of the better shooters on the team. I think third best shooter. What do you think, J-Dub?
Yeah. I really like his stroke. It's really
I think
pure.
he has the third best stroke on the team. He's probably and so I think he's looked upon to take those catch and shoot threes to try to open the court up a little bit, because when he comes on the floor, he's usually on there with 2 7-footers.
I was going to say, you got to think about it like this. Right. If he's coming off the bench and Awaka's starting, you're talking about Krivas and Vasar coming off with him, so he's not going to be seeing much time in the paint. It's clogged up.
You mentioned, obviously, maybe there's a bigger role for Conrad Martinez moving forward when Jaden Bradley is not handling the point. We've at times seen KJ Lewis also kind of be that guy to handle the point guard role, and KJ welcomes those reps at the point guard position.
It's been a big focal point for this offseason for me. When JB, goes out to, take over and run the show and facilitate a little bit. Still got to be a little bit more careful with turnovers and being, protective of, the ball in our possessions. But I'm super excited to, keep getting reps at the one spot.
Do you try to play it the same way that JB does, or your own version?
No, I try to take it to my own version. I take little bits here and there, talk to JB, like in practice, like if I sub him out and ask him about a play or two or what to look for. But no, definitely putting my own twist on it.
Talking about your game, KJ, do you feel like talking about how you have been excited to play the point guard, but that also just had a lot? Have you found you've had a lot more to kind of think about this preseason? What's that?
Nah, I mean just trying to play to the best of my abilities, regardless of what position I'm in. Some things that I can always take with me is my effort, my energy, and my defense, regardless of the position I play. And it just comes with learning. The reps, and the work is going to show. And I put in a lot of work this summer.
9 assists to 7 turnovers so far for KJ Lewis offensively. So he's not necessarily, turning the ball over when he's gotten that opportunity. But he's not necessarily, dishing it out as well as much when he gets those opportunities too.
Yeah, I think he's still, learning, and I think the simpler he be, when he's playing, the better he'll be. I think sometimes he over dribble a little bit when he's, at the point guard position. But I think that is some of what when you go into that NBA, because he's a guy that declared as well. And when you go in there and they say, well, you're really 6'4", you're really 6'4" and a half or whatnot, they say you're a point guard. So now you have to take your hat off to a guy like Coach Tommy, who's giving you an opportunity to actually get minutes at point guard at the University of Arizona. I mean, because usually a guy like him, he kind of remind me of Hassan Adams, right?
Oh, yeah.
So he would, Hassan played more so power forward and small forward, so he never really got a chance to show his guard skills. So I commend Coach Lloyd, and I think it's by necessity that he has to give him a chance to do that, because you when you think about on this team, if you don't give Conrad the minutes, who is your backup point guard, right? So I think he's trying to go with KJ because of the defensive presence and all the intangibles that he bring, and you don't really necessarily have to run offense for him. But KJ has to make sure that he's trying to run the team and not trying to score when he's at the point. To me, that's the thing that I'm looking at.
All right, let's knock out our keys to the game.
Wildcats fans, our keys to the game are brought to you by the Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive, the dealership that is different.
J-Dub, what do you got?
Let's see. Number one, you got to be sound on-ball defense. They're going to be trying to drive. Use your feet, not your hands to defend. I'd like to see less than, say, 12 fouls among the 4 guards, at least on those reach-in type fouls. Number 2, you got to dominate the boards. If they're going to play 4 guards, you got to make them pay for that. Obviously, Arizona is going to have a lot of size advantages across the board, so maybe plus 10, plus 12 rebounding margin. And number 3, post touches, inside-out play. I think, again, just looking at the matchups and the way the Oklahoma Sooners are going to try to play tonight, you're going to have advantages on the post. So early and often, go into Awaka, go into Krivas, go into Vesar, whoever is establishing that post presence, make Oklahoma contract on that, and then your offense will open up from that. Foul troubles, all that stuff. Those are my keys today versus Oklahoma.
Go ahead, Calvin.
Yeah, the same there. Guards have to continue to attack and get into the paint. You don't necessarily have to give the big man the ball by passing it into the paint, because I think early double teams are going to come because Oklahoma isn't that big. So I think if we throw it into the post, early double teams are going to come, could probably force our bigs into some turnovers. So I would love for the guards to get into the paint. And if they don't drop it off, shoot it, because usually that bounce goes right to your offensive players, and we have an offensive rebounding advantage in this game. They have 4 guys that score in double figures, so any of their guys a weapon to go off at any time. We have to make sure we're connected to these guys on fast break in transition, because they spread out around the three-point line looking to spray three-pointers, and so we have to make sure we're connected to those guys and not run back to the lane and give up wide open threes. And then my last one is we got to control that point guard Fears, man. I think he is the guy that makes everything goes for these guys. The other guys are not really creators. I think he's the creative guy. You have to force him left and force him to pass going that way. I would not allow him going right, because he scores and passes effortlessly.
All right, real quick, I want to see that 60%. I'd like to see that number stay 60% interior scoring, maybe not 30 shots, but that same percentage. And I want to see a consistent carryover for Anthony Del Orso at the offensive and the defensive end. Let's give you your starting lineups.
The foundation of a great college basketball team begins with the starting lineup. Today's starting lineup is brought to you by Rockin' K, a master plan community designed by nature.
All right, your guards, Jaden Bradley, 6'3" guard out of Rochester, New York. Caleb Love, a 6'4" guard out of St. Louis. KJ Lewis, 3-guard play, 6'4", sophomore out of El Paso. Trey Townsend at the forward, 6'6", fifth-year man out of Oakland University. And Toby Awaka, 6'8", 255 out of Hyde Park, New York. That is going to wrap up our pregame show. Coming up next, Arizona and Oklahoma. Bear down, Arizona. We'll talk to you after the game. Enjoy it on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Make the right choice for your home when it comes to windows and doors. For more than 20 years, the Window Depot has provided the best price and biggest inventory on in-stock windows and doors. The Window Depot is open to the public, so whether you're a homeowner